The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Baba should disown these experts and say they went there on the, because he keep on telling us that these experts just you came from Dubai and you found them they already at State House looking for jobs.
Government has to live, has to introduce austerity measures. It's something that this government and the previous ones have not been able to do in this country. We've talked about it so many times.
And really, I think you have seen the modus operandi of William Samoei Ruto since he came in. It's just showbiz.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Members of parliament, they go to State House, they just promised they get given tea, mandazi, and 100,000. That's not development.
External borrowing, 589 billion. Are we on the same page? What did Parliament pass?
If anything happened to our president today, God forbid, that man would become president. Na ndio alilenga hizo stories za Shakahola.
The real thing is our constitution has only one person who is accountable to us.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
I am also a publicly elected official. Okay. My salary is paid by your taxes.
Yes.
So if you need me to answer questions, we will not run away from you.
Asante,
we will always be here.
The government itself is engaging in corrupt practices. That the government itself deliberately schemes to influence through bribery members of parliament.
You pay for a passport online. Alafu you're told there are no booklets.
I rebuke matters corruption because corruption has brought this country to its knees.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Good morning on this Monday morning on the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
4th, yeah.
May the 4th be with you.
May it be with you too.
How are you?
Good.
How is this morning? Hey, my microphone wants to do things today.
This morning is good.
Salama leo asubuhi.
Nashukuru.
How's your weekend?
My weekend was easy. Nashukuru.
Did you behave?
Yes, I did.
That answer has come very fast.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. I'm very
Did
happy.
you?
Of course.
Oh, nice.
Goes without saying.
We missed you Saturday.
Unajua?
Sema. Jitetee usikike.
Sikujua vile itakuwa.
Ukujua vile itakuwa.
Sawa, nikabaki tuko duvet.
Okay. Ilikuwa mzuri. Ilikuwa mzuri.
That's good. I'm glad that you had some a good time.
Yeah.
Haya, sasa kuna kitu ambayo inaitwa livestream, sijui mnafanya aje. Lakini hatuko hapo. So labda inatengenezwa. She has told me to refresh. Okay. Refresh, unplug and refresh.
Refresh and you?
Voila. See what happens when you sometimes unplug and then come back and refresh? I keep saying every now and then you need to act like a machine.
Yep.
Take the plug out of the power and then give it a few minutes and then put it back.
Yep.
It usually solves a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now that we've established that you're doing fine this morning and EVE is also fine.
Yes.
Joyline is fine. Mutanu is also here, and we're getting into it this morning. We just need to establish that everybody else is doing okay this morning. It's the 4th of May already. Like a joke. It was just the 1st of May, and here we are already on the 4th. May is not taking any prisoners, and we are going. Good morning to our audience on KTN today as we get into the Situation Room. Thank you for being part of Kenya's biggest conversation every morning as you do. Dennis and Ndu here with you this morning, and Monday brings a number of things that we need to talk about, certain insights that we need to share around certain situations. So we're going to talk about those things as we normally do. Let's start at the tail end of things, and we're going to say we're going to have a word with you, Mr. President. It's Monday after all, and
We've missed him.
We've missed him.
Yeah, dear Mr. President.
We came back from Italy. We saw you performing a skit at the Kalasha Awards. We saw you reminiscing about certain things. Lakini.
Apologize to the daughter for not getting into film. Many would say that apology should go elsewhere, but anyway.
While that was happening, a woman in Donholm took her son to hospital on Saturday morning. And on Friday, and they said to her, leo ni public holiday, atufanyi kazi. So I don't know what that meant. I assumed that hospital services are a 24-hour affair, but clearly not.
It's like going to
especially in public hospitals. Yes, like going to police station and saying, well, today's a holiday, we're not working. Crime can hold on until Tuesday. No. So she then was told that we cannot serve you today, madam, sorry. And everywhere else, she went that day. This was her recount of her son. And she said everywhere else she went that day, they refused to take her and her son and treat him because the government had not paid them the money that was owed, so they were not taking anything but cash. Now, that's the true situation. That's where things are, and that's what it is today. Dear Mr. President, let's have a conversation about the state of healthcare once again. A couple of months ago, we talked to a gentleman who told us about how he lies to his doctor about how he's feeling. So that he doesn't have to go to hospital
for the test that
exactly
he needs,
because he didn't have the money to do so. And he was told that SHA was not going to be able to function for him at that moment for whatever reason. We want to hear from people because, you know, the truth of the matter is that a lot of people use it for politics and they say, oh, SHA is not working. But the truth of the matter for many people, wait. You know, I'm even going to stop people in the middle of things. Where are you going with my chair? To climb. You see, I'll stop in the middle of the conversation even because people take our furniture. Anyway, so to have the conversation about what really is going on with SHA. That's what we're going to do. Dear Mr. President, the situation on the ground. And we ask that even as you talk to us this morning, tell us exactly what's going on. Tell us exactly what's going on so that we can have a real conversation about the truth and not just innuendo or propaganda, but the truth. Dear Mr. President, if the budget were to be made for health today, the people are going to tell you what they think needs to be applied to that. And we'll give you some information as well concerning that. So that's what it looks like today from 9 to 10 o'clock. Jimmy Mambo, good morning. Mambo. Jimmy Mambo is with Maisha, and his name is actually Mambo. So it's fun to be able to greet him a lot of times. Sawa. So then at 8 o'clock, our conversation goes like this, because we will then at 8 be speaking with Dr. Duncan Ojwang. He's a law lecturer, locking governors in reform, accountability, or political control. When you say that a governor must then come before the pick or the pack, because we know that's Public Investments Committee and Public Accounts Committee, when we say that, what does it mean? Are you trying to be political, or are you trying to be constitutional, where it says any money you spend, you should actually come and tell us how you spent it? Do we have to lobby and filibuster and say, oh, please come, Governor, come and have a conversation with us? Or can we actually just follow the law? There's a suggestion that perhaps, you know, Dr. Ojwang will join us at 8 o'clock for that conversation. And then closest to this hour at 7 o'clock, Game Plan 2027, pleading for numbers and accountability. We did see the president in a spirited effort, talking to his people in his home, in his backyard, literally, and saying, come on, guys, you have not registered. We're talking about 500,000 plus 2 million to 3 million people. Come out and register. This is a clarion call across the country. Dr. Barrack Muluka will join us at 7 o'clock. He's the Secretary General of the Democratic National Alliance, that's the DNA party. We'll be talking about this pleading for numbers and accountability, exactly what it means into Game Plan 2027. So that's what it looks like today. We'll talk about 2027 at 7, and then we'll go into devolution and what it means for county bosses. And then we're going to talk about healthcare, dear Mr. President, at 9. Karibuni sana. Thank you for joining us every morning. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, at the very least, is what we expect this morning, or at least what we will try to do this morning. And then you'll tell us where you've taken us this week.
So today we're in a country that fought for over 30 years, gained independence in 1993.
I'm trying to guess already.
Eritrea.
Oh.
Gained independence from Ethiopia. You know, Ethiopia, one or the other usually feels like Eritrea should still be part of Ethiopia. But if you talk about what it does have is it has a shoreline, so the Red Sea, and now you would understand why Ethiopia would want to have Eritrea be part of them because of the access now to the sea. Mm-hmm. Now trade on the high seas as well would be important for them. But the proverb that we do get today from Eritrea says, are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Okay. A good road is used a second time.
A good road is used a second time. If you went down this path and it worked for you, if you used this method and it worked, it's like saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
We can use this over and over again because we've proven that it works. Hey, God, I could apply this to so many situations.
I'm just going to use phrases that are being used right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it's either one term or two term, a good road is used twice. Cinema interpret.
Yeah, it's just because Njeri came. Yeah, so I was a bit confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you've tried and tested a particular method and it has actually, achieved certain results, why do you want to reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
It's worked. Use it. Do it again.
I think that now goes to the political class. If you want to get re-elected, just work. The people will use you a second time.
Ustrambia lazima work. I don't know where. No,
See,
just do.
Just
work.
do.
Just work.
Yeah.
Just work.
We see, we feel, we experience. And if all those things are negative, my friend, you're going home. It is just that simple, because we've tried it, we've tested it, it has worked for us. We want to continue feeling that. We want to continue experiencing that. In the event that does not become a normal day, it does not become a daily occurrence, then I am sorry, we will not use that road a second time.
Yep.
So that I'm hurt again. Me, I didn't come here to suffer. Aguna.
Aguna.
Exactly.
I don't come this live to suffer.
No.
Okay. It would be lovely to hear what folks have to say about that this morning. And so then getting into a conversation, let's say hello to you because we know a lot of you have tuned in this morning. Not to forget that our live streams are up on Facebook, YouTube, and on X. And listening in and getting your greetings as you come into the week. And I know that, I just wanted to say, I know that a lot of people are feeling heavy for one reason or another. You know what? You can.
Yep.
You can put one step in front of the other. You can get out of that moment where you feel as though things are actually going belly up. You can get out of bed. You can take the next step. It looks like the world is ending, but it isn't. May your valleys be filled and your mountains be leveled. That's my prayer for you today as you get into the week, and that you can be grateful for every little thing, and that there's an attitude of gratitude that brings out a lot that we sometimes don't tap into. So that's my wish for everybody today. A little bit of sprinkling of gold dust and positive vibes today. Robert Mbogo says, good morning, tuned in, wonderful week ahead, tuned in from Mombasa. Hisa Daniel is tuned in from Atiak in Uganda. Tibbs Muge says, good morning. Keep an eye on Uganda and their new sovereign bill. That is very interesting. If you've not had an opportunity to see what's going on there, you might want to read up on it because what? Okay. Mwakalu Himbo says, good morning from TZ. Good morning and happy May Day, Ndu and Aseto. What's cooking? I know my friend Muluka will be in studio this morning. I can't wait. How did you know? You be winch, as you would say.
Winch and you.
Will you be winch? Tell him your friend from TZ is greeting him. We shall tell him. If I don't remember, Aseto will remember. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mahanu Oliver says, Kenya needs a renaissance. Now we are flooding. In a few months to come, we will be in drought, begging. Wait. On Friday, my friend, Mombasa River.
Yeah.
Mombasa Road River.
Yes.
In fact, I'm looking for what to actually really call it because river doesn't seem to quite capture. Let me tell you something. Did you see staff of the Pride of Africa wade in the water to try and get to a place?
On the shores of now let's use Nairobi.
By the rivers of Babylon.
Thank you.
Where we sat down, there we were.
Yes.
When we remembered Zion.
Babylon and Zion.
Wewe.
Nairobi. Lazima iwak. Cheki. Ndu. Lazima iwak.
Wewe. My friend, it was it was not funny, man. And people, you know what? People actually, please God, hold the rain just for another 12 hours so that this doesn't continue.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It's terrible. It's not even the rain. It's not the rain. Let the rain fall.
Yeah.
The flooding that happens as a result of the rain and the after effects of that because of other things, then is a problem. That you're looking at land which needs an outlet, but it's cement city on the left.
True.
So what are we doing in terms of, drainage? But, we've sung this song over and over and over and over again. Now, you see that road that you have said you've used, it's good, use it again.
Thank you.
You know what? If you come out and you register and you vote in overwhelming numbers. That's another method.
You can make that change.
It's a method.
Yes.
That actually works.
Yeah.
All right. David Mangera says, good morning, tuned in to the Situation Room. Happy new month of May. Jose Mahinda says tuned in as well. Frank Buire says, from the day you invited Sivuna after a phone call was made to a local station to block his interview, you gained my trust. I will always listen to you every morning. You are independent. Well, good morning, Frank, and thank you so much. Karibu Sana. Jennifer Etenyi has known this for a minute, and she says, good morning, Ndu and Aseto, Spice family. Happy new week, and wishing you all of us good tidings, grace, and favor. Amen. Mark Mwangi says, good morning, Ndu and Aseto. H.E. Kangata, if was more brave, he would have explained the underhand deals and demand for land that couldn't allow him to sell his soul. Well, I think he said some of these things will come out into the fore later.
Yeah.
So let's just be patient and wait and see. That he has said he will not in this current condition should actually tell us a lot.
Exactly.
David Duncan, this says, good morning, folks. Happy new week, The Situation Room. Good morning to you. Leo says, hello, Princess Ndu and Aseto. Good morning. So the cost of being transferred as a head teacher to your favorite school is 1 million. We should open a Ministry of Corruption and make it official. Come. How much do head teachers earn? I looked at the numbers and said maybe it's my eyes.
Yep.
But I don't understand. How is it? Is this money that we're talking about? Is it up to 300k?
It's control of resources.
Where are you getting 1 million shillings to bribe somebody for transfer?
Because I'm in one way or the other, I'm going to make that money back.
How much are they paying you that you want to use to pay back the 1 million?
But I'm still the one who will get in there and ask parents to give me money for buses.
Okay.
To give me money for a new dining hall.
All right.
We need to have a state-of-the-art field here and there. We need to buy turf from China. So it's control of resources. In one way or the other.
I've got it.
Because last week we found out that there's a school that is charging excess of 50%. It's 50% more of normal fees. So imagine where that money would go.
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I actually sat and I thought, I was like, what is it? Yeah. To move, you want to be transferred from the coast to western, you want to go from, northern to eastern, you want to go from eastern to, whatever it is, but you're paying $1 million to do that. Wow.
Yeah.
Who is receiving this money? Is it ministry? Am I asking hard questions?
Who else transfers?
All right. Or TSC or who or how?
Okay. The one.
Am I asking too many questions this morning?
You're asking the right questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Yakundi Emmanuel says, good morning, Ndu and Aseto. Kisumu is becoming a disgrace to our region. Hey, God. Every greeting is a reminder. Dr. Nikal was burying his father.
Yes.
Then you do nonsense. Did you see the hurt in the man's eyes?
I know.
That he got to the point whereby he had to call somebody and call out names. Finally.
Yeah.
Naming and shaming. And saying, bring these people to my father's funeral. Why are you afraid to walk alone?
Why do you stoop so low? Look, what happened to us?
The time for naming and shaming, I think, has finally come. It has come.
Name them, shame them.
And people will now know who you really are.
True.
And some nonsense. Come on. It's a sacred moment. It should have been remembered as such. Mm-hmm. It was actually a shame to see that happening. Vice Admiral says, good morning. We see you. Erica War says, good morning. Jose Okondo says, good morning. Ndu and Aseto tuned in from Tudor, Mombasa. Don Sabo, he's back. Where have you been? Well, good morning. Kangata Wabarua has done it again. Aseto, what is your take? Good morning, Ndu and Aseto.
What is my take? It is that time. People will move.
Yeah.
Decisions will be made. And a lot will be unearthed. We are here for that.
We are here for it, man. Popcorn. We are here for it.
Here for it.
Vintage Oak says, Warudisha Kitty Ndu. Exactly. Mambo got the heat. Good morning. David Mangera says, good morning. Voter registration exercise marred with irregularities. New registrations in Nairobi find themselves unwillingly registered in northern part of Kenya. This is a question that must be asked. Frank Buire, you're telling us how SHA works like a betting firm where place a bet but only a few will benefit. I hear you. Osana Emily says, good morning. We pray for a better month. Indeed, we do. Bernard Nyaberi says, hi, Dennis and Ndu. Simba bus operating between Kampala and Nairobi is full of con men. I was lied to and suffered in their hands. Please warn our people against this company. They need to be careful.
Yeah, I've had that.
What happened?
I've had that as well. So you get in, you're being told you pay a certain amount. And then if you have luggage, you're told again to pay for that luggage. For a certain amount as well, and when you refuse, they take you to a certain point and drop you off the road
in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
You're kidding?
I've had that. Yeah, I was seeing that somewhere on the internet. So yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm sure that there will be more stories coming out. That's the thing. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, Nyaberi. Pole sana. Dr. Fico says, good morning, team. Tuning in from Kisumu. I'm still pained by Dr. Bwaka's death and the gimmick by the state to make it look like it had nothing to do with it. May Dr. Bwaka's soul rest in peace. That his last days were just very troublesome.
Very.
Nobody has to die. We're not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we're being told over the weekend about what happened, we still are not sure what happened.
It was difficult seeing the son go through that, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
I mean, for goodness sake.
It's tough because it didn't have to get there, man.
No.
It didn't have to get there. People belong somewhere. Mtu ana watu. You know, and just because of bravado and chest thumping, you take someone through all this. Imagine today, with that stellar career, what are people remembering? How that man was treated.
Unfortunately, and this is what is going to remain in our minds. The manner in which he was treated. I mean, less than a month ago, and then now we are hearing that he's passed away. It doesn't matter how you try to color it. That the optics normally speak louder than whatever explanation you're going to come and give later. And that we pray that those he loved and those that loved him, will find some kind of comfort with all of these things at the same. And that the bottom of it will be reached.
Yeah.
Wanda, good morning. Oh, before Wanda, Joseph Kimonge says, good morning. Tuned in this morning from Iben Chokisi. It's raining. Wanda says, good morning. Aseto Ndu from Toronto. Ndu, I'm loving the lilac outfit. Thank you so much. Like watching Survivor series. How is Kenyan politics going to end by 2027? Who will outwit, outplay, outlast everybody else? Isn't that the question, my sister? We are in May 2026, and you would think the election was tomorrow. Well, still waiting. But look, it's already great.
Yeah.
Red Fiery Red says, good morning, Jonas. Happy new month to you too. Love and stars, my friend. Rhoda Wamboy says, good morning, tuned in from the UK. Bwangi Juma is tuned in SpiceFM. How are you all doing this blessed morning? Very good to have you in the room. Thank you, Bwangi. God have mercy on ODM as it kicks its last. I know there was another meeting after the funeral on Saturday. There was another meeting on Sunday. Yeah, sometimes you can do too much, man. I'm just saying. Henry Acceptor says, good morning, SpiceFM. Twende kazi, good people. Now here, hot seat, keep it hot. No fire, see fire. Cindy or Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bugs.
Kevin says, good morning. David Mangera says, Ndu, that song reminds me of Bonnie M. Fond memories. It is Bonnie M, actually. It is. Rogers Lai says, Sabalheri Spice, Mvua Kibao Mombasani. Dancil is asking us many questions. You ask something. Mali Paul says, good morning, Mali Paul, listening in from Eldoret. And Raphael Kanini says, good morning from Limuru. Raphael Kanini says, she calls out on the man on the... that's a song by Phil Collins.
Yeah.
I remember. Eric Gitonga says, they tell us they imported substandard fuel, then approve it. In that case, a fired principle should not go away. It shouldn't. Okay, there's a lot going on at the same time. And this is why we must talk about these things. You can't be quiet. We must have conversations that will lead us somewhere. Very lovely to have you guys in the room this morning. Thank you for tuning in. For those who are listening silently as you go about the business that you have to do today, whether you're off to school, off to work, whatever it is that you're involved in, we do hope that we can continue to have those conversations that matter and necessary for us to do so. We're going to look into the headlines in just a little bit. And when we do, we'll come back from this break and do just that, look into the headlines. There's quite some, and some of it actually does read like a story. The politics will politic for all intents and purposes, they will definitely do just that. It's Ninja and Dennis with you at 28 minutes to 7 o'clock. We'll come back and look into the headlines. Don't go away.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. The weather with SpiceFM.
All right, so we're looking at cloudy conditions, rainy conditions in parts of Nairobi this morning, and it looks like it's going to continue that way through most of today. Currently at 16, we will see a high of 24 and a low of 15. We're looking at 15 and mostly cloudy into Nakuru with a high of 25, and we'll see a high of 24 and a low of 15 in Njeri. Kisumu at 19 is clear with a high of 28, and at 18 degrees it is sunny into Kakamega with a high of 28, 25 and mostly cloudy into Mombasa, and it is cloudy at 25 in Malindi. In Marsabit, sunny at 21, and Kampala is cloudy at 19 and partly sunny at 24 in Dar es Salaam. It's partly cloudy at 14 into Johannesburg, while Lagos is cloudy at 26. It's cloudy at 11 in London and 21 and sunny in Beijing. Clear conditions at 12 in New York on Sunday night.
Chilled Spice.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. Spice FM.
Spice up your life. Traffic.
All right, we're here this morning. If you're on the Thika Superhighway and you're coming into the city, we're seeing that some of that's starting to clog up as you come in from that Roiro interchange. Traffic is heading out towards the northern bypass, but it won't be too crazy, at least for now. I think it's going to get clogged up the most right now as you then approach the Pangani underpass. Everybody trying to get through that tunnel and then out towards Muranga Road. And then getting into the CBD from Mombasa Road is not a problem this morning. It looks good on the southern bypass. Also coming in from Langata Road, it is fine. Ngong Road is a bit busy. But it's moving, so this is good. Then we'll see what happens later. Still early pickings, slim pickings Monday morning. I hope we can keep our wits about and keep things moving. Let's talk SpiceFM, KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
School is out and the fun is in. Feast your eyes and your kids' hearts on a feast like no other with StarTimes. Recharge your monthly subscription today and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 1 full month. Turn your home into a world of adventure with Bluey on CBeebies, playful giggles on Baby TV and Jim Jam, learning that feels like play on Mindset Learn, non-stop action with the Batman on Toonami and the Powerpuff Girls on Boing, endless fun with SpongeBob on ST Kids, and thrilling wins with Super Strikers on ST Tunes. Unlock your upgrade today. Simply renew your subscription on your current bouquet and we'll automatically move you to the next high bouquet for 30 days. Dial *858# or call us on 0719 077 077 for customer care. Download the StarTimes on app to take the fun wherever you go. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
25 minutes to 7 o'clock, and while you're away, I got a cupcake. Ha ha ha. Okay. Into it this morning. Let's look into the headlines on the front page of Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Ruto's boogeyman. What? Yeah. And there's a picture of a former President Uhuru Kenyatta, the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, as well as the party leader, chairman of the party, the Jubilee Party, with Mount Kenya voting bloc seemingly defiant towards President Ruto's 2027 re-election. Ruto's point men have turned their anger and frustration on retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. In what is becoming the norm, the Ruto administration has made Uhuru its punching bag whenever it's under pressure from Kenyans to deliver on their promises in an attempt to deflect attention. And during the weekend, the Kenya Kwanza wingmen went all out with a barrage of criticism and threats on Uhuru, a clear indication of a rattled and unsettled team coming to terms with the fact that the vote-rich region is slipping away right before their eyes. I want to quote Dismas Okoh, a political analyst. His quote is here on the front page. The praise and attack strategy is meant to rattle former President Uhuru Kenyatta so that he moves to the knowns matrix. This state will enable presidential candidates to recalibrate their 2027 strategies. You know what I think it is?
Yep.
I don't think it's trying to scare Uhuru Kenyatta. I think what it is it's trying to deflect attention to the reason why your strategy may not be working. So if you give a dog a bad name, already a dog is seen as then you want to give a dog a bad name, you're hoping that it will cast some kind of positive light on you. Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, it backfires. Nominator Senator Karen Nyamu came out over the weekend and said, Uhuru Kenyatta, I mean, for goodness sake, somebody needs to ensure that the batteries in the brain-to-mouth filter is actually working before some people are let loose on audiences. She actually went out and said, if you're going to give money, why are you not giving this money? Why are you supporting these Linda Mwananchi who are going to Western? She basically said, if you're going to give money, Uhuru Kenyatta, I call out Uhuru Kenyatta, if you're going to give money, and she said, this Linda Mwananchi is Linda Uhuru. If you're going to give money, why don't you give it to Akina Methu or those other guys, Akina Gashagwa? Give it to people in Central. Don't give it to people, wengine usiwapatie pesa. And I said, oh my God, these same people that we've been saying that are not being tribal or we're not, what are we doing? Anyway, Uhuru Kenyatta is now the new punching bag. Well, he's been there for a minute, but he's the punching bag of everybody else at the moment who, for some reason, may not want to have fingers pointed.
Interesting
at
how,
themselves.
when you're asked why you're not delivering, having been elected into office, all you decide to do is to look for someone else to blame for your own failures.
Kabisa?
You know.
That's what I said, and we just went on and on and on from Senator.
You know, it's like when I hear people ask opposition, what's their agenda? No, it is not them who said they would give Kenyans shot that is working. They are not in office to implement anything. So when we ask you what you're doing with the deliverables you gave Kenyans and it is zero, I am sorry.
It's like somebody asks you, Ndu, you said you were going to arrange this thing from left to right. It's a typical Adam and Eve situation. Adam, did you eat of the fruit of the tree that I told you not to eat? Then what did Adam say? It is this woman
who gave it to me.
Yeah. Then even the woman was asked, she says, it's this snake. This serpent.
Did you eat it?
Did you eat it? It's this serpent.
Yes.
Did you fix the thing? It's these people who are giving money to these Wengine.
It's as if, even if Uhuru was giving money to those other people, okay, fine.
Alafu?
What's up with the roads? What's up with the 100 dams? What's up with your accountability queries as a senator? What's up with you as member of parliament and representation and oversight and legislation? Have you delivered on those?
What about the people? All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Yes.
Conservationists raise alarm over plan to relocate animal orphanage. That's the story that's on page 2 of the Standard. And stars shine at the Kalasha Awards amid calls for industry reform. There have been calls in terms of the support that the industry gets and what it can actually do. I think the president had a light bulb moment when he was at the Kalasha Awards and he realized, salala, alala. These arts can actually be a thing. Okay. That people have actually made their whatever. Then he said, I care about the arts. If I hadn't cared about the arts, would I have invited those Grammy people and paid how many millions for us to be realized?
Does it have $1 million? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the millions of dollars.
Okay.
So I care about the thing, guys. So you're going to be seeing a lot more in the area. Let's just put it like that, because I don't know what else
in the
to
sector,
say.
right?
Something, I don't know. I don't know if it ended with Kalash on Saturday night, or it's actually going to be a thing that we're going to see more of into the future. I don't know. Or was it in the moment? You know how you're in the own moment and you can say things?
I'm just wondering, those artists were seated there, and every other time when they're being paid 2,000 bob from MCSK, what are they thinking at the time? Because remember, it's a government body that collects all these monies from media houses, from matatus, from businesses, and then after the year, you're given 2,000 bob.
Wololo.
See, Mimi, it is facts. You can ask out there.
My God. Yeah, so I don't know that he would. Yeah. I thought it was interesting also that The People Shall won Best Documentary in that event, when it was actually a documentary that was done to highlight the inadequacies of the government of the day. And the president was also applauding that. So I wonder, is that acquiescence to a mistake? You know, I could be reading too much into this and philosophizing all of this.
You know, I think that's a moment where you're like, oh my God, it did. They're talking about me, but because you're there, brave face. You see, we are a democratic country. We allow people to actually speak. Only that when you get out and speak, you get disappeared.
This film can be a good thing. It seems
a good thing.
Let's see how far it will go now later. Central Kenya reels as families bury sons lost to alcohol. The illicit brew and all of this is continues to be an issue. Rigathi and Dorcas Gachagua were very serious about this at some point. It seems that they still might be. Of course, Rigathi Gachagua in the last couple of days said, wameenda wamemwaga pombe sijui ya nini na sasa vijana wetu wanaumia sana. He said this just a couple of days ago. It seems like the illicit brew, it is an issue, and it is not about tribalism. It is about that it's 8 o'clock in the morning and people are not hungover, they're drunk. True. And you're looking at some serious numbers here. Crisis in numbers: 3,199,119 Kenyans using alcohol, according to the 2022 National Survey of the Status of Drugs and Substance. 22.5 million are males, 687,000 are female. 7 years is the minimum of initiation for 7 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the initiation of alcohol. 74.1% of the people in central Kenya felt that there was an increase in their bars. 48.5% of Kenyans with perception say that there was an increase in the numbers of bars in the past 5 years in their community. It could speak to many things. It could speak to the mushrooming of business. It could speak to the fact that maybe it's an easy business to start and that people want to do something after work, or in this case, even before work. It could also speak to dependency on drugs to deal with issues. Hello? Okay. I'm just saying.
It's crazy. In my hood, I think I just saw how many? Two new bars,
Yeah.
And I think in less than 4 months, walking distance from here to there.
Coming from church at about 11 o'clock, or even going to church at about 9 o'clock, and their bars, you would think that it was 10 p.m. It's booming, twaffing, and people are still drinking at that hour in the morning, and then coming back is still a party just started at about 11. So you want to ask the question, what is it that people are running away from, that they're going to
indulge
in, as CT would say, in these cultural establishments? Why? What is it? But now this is a question that's being asked. It seems to be a big issue.
3 million people is how many people? That would be almost half the number William Ruto got in votes.
And now drowning their sorrows in alcohol. Okay, sorry.
So that's just like the numbers. So just take that into account and think of how big a problem it is.
Yeah. There's a big story on page 6 of the Standard. Probe uncovers hidden charges and inflated school fees in elite schools. I want to say something.
Say, please.
That, and I know people might shoot me, and it probably isn't Ndu who would say something like this. And I'm not justifying anybody's behavior. Okay? That if there's a recommended fee charge by the ministry, you should follow it. However, the reason why there is this recommended fee charge by the ministry is because you are going to buffer it with
capitation.
Okay. Now, in the event that capitation does not arrive or that it arrives late, the everlasting question for Milele and Milele has been, what do you expect these schools
to do?
Whether we like it or not. I'm not talking about the one that they inflated and people traveled with it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about these extra emoluments and whatever. I'm talking about the fact that if you say school fees should not be increased, then you best be making sure that the capitation that you're supposed to send to these schools, when the bell rings, it should be in. Okay?
Yeah. You know, the saddest part as well is this probe. We wanted to say that now we've gone into investigation as if we did not know. It has always been there.
Please.
You know, and we also know why this is happening. It is the ministries and government's failure that is seeing these schools do this. So we really know what we must do. We must fix ourselves. And then this one will stop being a reality.
The one that you people now told parents to pay extra so that people can travel or that you want to go, I take issue with that. If you actually called money from people and said that you want to use it to go and travel, to go and shop. But this one where we are saying that school has capped money at X amount, the reason why they've done that is because the ministry is education is supposed to be sending capitation to schools. Period. Let's not flower it. Let's not call it anything.
Remember, there's a time head teachers were actually forced to close school early because there was no way they were going to maintain kids in school.
Yes, no.
We don't have money to feed you. Please go home. Yes. Was government of Kenya there? Yes. Was the ministry there? Yes.
But we don't want to have the conversation.
We don't want to have the
conversation. Have it. I will not defend my seat on the UDA ticket, says Kangata. This is on some of the political pages. Ruto allies turn Uhuru into political punching bag ahead of 2027 polls. ODM power row revives the Raila Orengo era rivalry. Kenyan journalists battle violence and digital monitoring in the line of duty. It's not surprising. It's going to continue to happen. And George Nyongesa in the opinion pages today talks about why our articulate politicians struggle to explain their agenda. It's hard to explain something that you don't believe in. That's just me saying. I didn't say that you don't believe in what you're saying. I'm just saying that if you don't believe it, it's very difficult to explain it. Coco. The Okoh by-election race begins with crowded UDA and DCP primaries, and that we're seeing some people were moved from boards that they seem to not know that they were on still. Okay, that should be fun. Get yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper this Monday, or you can get a copy of the e-paper, have the news in your pocket. All right, over to you, sir.
So let's go to the Daily Nation, and here we have a story that is carrying the headline, Housing Jobs Row. Now, not adding up is the subhead. A controversy has erupted over the number of jobs created under the Kenya Kwanza administration's affordable housing program. Analysis of new official data from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics suggests President William Ruto and his officers may have overplayed the figures by a big margin. Let's talk about numbers. So in June 2025, affordable housing jobs was capped at 250,000. July 2025, 320,000. August 2025, 320,000. And November 2025, 428,000. Now, Dr. George Obudo is Director General, KNBS. And on the economic survey, he says that 77,000 new jobs was created in the entire construction sector since 2023. So if the president is talking about 428,000, yet the economic survey says only 77,000 jobs have been created since 2023, who is telling the truth? Because even CS Charles Hinga said the program has created over 640,000 direct and indirect jobs since 2022. So someone here is lying.
One of us is lying.
One of us is lying. One of us is lying. But remember what we said last week? Numbers
don't lie.
Don't lie. Yeah. Okay, now Ruto admits Mount Kenya headache in 2027 polls. So President William Ruto has acknowledged he is facing difficulties in Mount Kenya, but vowed to keep courting the region for his re-election bid. Watu wangu, sisi tulitembea pamoja. Sisi tulitembea pamoja. Tahakikisha nitarudi hapa kuhakikisha tumerudi. Okay. Secret recordings in Judge Tuju's EACC 16 million bribery case. Now, WhatsApp messages, call logs, and recorded conversations form part of evidence in a legal battle pitting a high court judge against anti-corruption investigators over an alleged 16 million bribery scheme. You can imagine if those actually are admissible in court, and recordings are played in court hearing how a judge was asking for bribe. Interesting. I just don't know how that judge would then start defending themselves if the recording was played and is actually admissible in court.
If it's admissible in court and it's played, it's going to blow this thing up. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with me. Anyway, Kangata to quit UDA hours after hosting the president at Njeri school in Muranga yesterday. Governor Irungu Kangata rushed to Nairobi to declare he will defect from the ruling party ahead of next year's election. Let me tell you, this is the shopping time. Political parties will get new members, and existing political parties will lose members. Hey, time is coming, and it is coming in real quick. And reprieve for investors in Kiambu housing project. So sell and transfer of land in Ruiru area has been halted due to succession battle. So petitioner had claimed he was being sidelined by his stepmother. High Court ruling has offered relief to investors in 2.5 billion shillings housing project in Kiambu, ending a protracted land dispute. Fiscal Africa Limited has now started issuing title deeds to buyers after years of a court battle that threatened the multi-billion investment. Now, home on riparian land to be demolished. Kama uliweka nyumba yako juu ya maji ama barabara ya maji, nyumba yako itaangushwa. Na hundreds of tenants living in the upmarket elite court on Ole Dume Road in the Kilimani area will be evicted as part of the ongoing operation to reclaim riparian land in the city and remove buildings that obstruct the flow of the flood water. Mimi niko na swali tu. The person who bought the land, right, clearly went against the law or the rules of the game. Who issued the title deed? Who gave approvals to build? Who was the inspector who signed off for that building to be occupied? Where was Construction Authority of Kenya? Where was Kenha at the time? Where was Ministry of Environment? Where was NEMA? Because until that time when everybody in this chain faced the law, we were really not doing anything.
Somebody gave the approvals in the very beginning for this thing to happen in the first place. So that is where we are.
Someone issued a title deed.
Yes, they did. They did.
So as we do that, as we try to address the issues to do with flooding, let's make sure that the rot that is in government institutions is actually dealt with. Now, this would be Dennis Okari's friend. Attorney or Auditor General Nancy Gathungu has said audit has flagged 30 billion shillings Eurobond cash breach. Now, Auditor General Nancy Gathungu has revealed that the government's diversion of 30 billion shillings Eurobond proceeds to cover for Treasury bonds shortfalls violated the law. This came as it emerged that the government failed to service 5 outstanding bilateral loans for security contracts worth 15.42 billion shillings as of June 30th, 2025, denting the country's credit worthiness. So, we're here running a government without following the law. And then you want to turn out and start speaking of how Uhuru Kenyatta should not speak, yet you're breaking the law. You're here telling Kenyans not to demonstrate, not to picket, yet you're here breaking the law. What are we doing?
We're breaking the law.
Why?
Because you can.
It's a suggestion.
Yeah, because you can. And that you've done it before and that nobody's asked questions or that nobody's actually pushed to make sure that this doesn't happen. You're breaking the law. And you know the thing is, it's interesting because a lot of people say, well, I didn't murder anybody.
No.
I didn't do any kind of like daylight robbery. Well, you know, that's the thing. Is that when you're breaking the law, when you're breaking the law, there's nothing that says, oh, well, you know, if you do a little bit, then it's not really breaking the law. But if you do something that's so overt, that's when it's breaking the law. If people can see or if blood is shed, that's it's
breaking the law includes looking the other way and not following the procedures and the process of ensuring that Eurobond is used in the right way. It's as simple as that.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. Let's look quickly into the Star this morning, and in the top right corner there, government terminates Ryla pension perks. That he's gone, and I think that's this is one part of the law that they will follow, I guess. 5% tax for Mitumba in 26 finance bill. If you don't know, the finance bill, at least in draft form, 2026 is out. This is the time for you to start looking into it and see what it has to say. Of course, we'll go into some of that right here so that we can start to get to understand what exactly is in it. But these are some of the things that we're already seeing in it. And of course, the whole conversation about why folks rely heavily on Mitumba clothing will come into play in terms of what if you can't make clothes brand new, cheaper and affordable for Kenyans, this is what they're going to rely on. And not just Kenyans, interestingly enough, people across the board are going to buy. Anyway, 5% tax for Mitumba on 26 finance bill. Importers to pay income tax before goods are released. So it's not like take and then pay later. No.
Pay now.
Pay now and then you can get your stuff.
Whether you go make a loss, it's on you.
We don't care. Heavy rain spread misery across capital city. And if the rain continues, like we've been told that it will, well into May, the likelihood of more misery is there. Spare a thought this morning, tafadhalini. That's our thing.
Yeah.
For those children who are walking to school and that they are next to puddles of water and you're going to go by with your vehicle, if you are listening to me and you're driving and their children, anybody really, who is having to walk, and because the road furniture in a lot of parts doesn't exist in the places where they are walking, spare a moment to go a little bit slower so that you don't drench these humans in muddy water. Just a moment for a little bit of humanity to reign in your day. Tafadhali. Please, I've seen too many cases of this happen in the last couple of days. Let's all take into consideration what's happening around us and be mindful of the folks who are not in a warm, speedy vehicle.
True.
Ruto to root out fairness at the G7 meeting in France. We know that the presidents are in France this week. President of Nigeria went off yesterday. The president of Kenya will be off. The Kenya-France summit happens in a week here in Kenya from the 11th to the 12th of May. And looking at, I guess, France is courting Africa once again. Malombe, who happens to be the Kitui governor, says arrest culprits in Kitui killings. He tells the security team, can't just have people dying and up until now you've not done anything about it. Besides telling us that you want to move animals and move people, something must be done. And that it's happening in too high rapid succession. All right, the politics of the day, and of course looking to the business. Bond trader surge at NSE by 300%. It's the highest turnover ever. So Ruto goes to root for fairness. Just a quick look into that story. And the G7 are meeting and they're going to say, you know what, this you keep telling us is a global village. How about you treat everybody with some fairness? Africa is not the girl with a duster in the corner. She's to be reckoned with. True. And so those are some of the things that probably will take front-line conversations. And I just thought in this moment that, a gentleman who's been very vocal over the years, Julius Malema, comes out to say, you know what, this thing that's happening in South Africa at the moment, I would rather help an African, and he says this, it's an African thing, help an African any day, regardless of where they were from. Something for us to remember at 7 a.m.
Spice up your life. The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Leah Ubaga. Murang'a Governor Irungu Kangata has opined that President William Ruto's party, the United Democratic Alliance, is starting at a catastrophic defeat in the region in the 2027 general election. According to Kangata, the current political shift are leading against President Ruto's party, and his political camp is losing support in the region. He alluded to a meeting he says he had with President Ruto Ruto a year ago to align some political strategies that would prop up the party in the region, which he says was not fruitful, and a lot has since changed for the worse. The governor added that he has been fighting heaping pressure from his supporters, forcing him to make a defiant stance against President Ruto's administration.
Earlier in the week, privately, I think I was alluding to a meeting that I held late last year about the regional politics, and I shared my mind on how I think probably we can push them ahead. We did not agree on the tactics, so I just kept quiet. And now, since that time, I think we are now headed to 1 year. I've seen how the politics is going on, and I think I'm now convinced it will not end well for UDA party, at least in my region.
DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua has come out in defense of retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, fueling a growing political row over the retired president's role in politics. Speaking in Kajiado, Gachagua praised Kenyatta, saying he left a strong nation while maintaining his right to speak on national issues. Gachagua has now challenged President William Ruto to come out and confront Kenyatta instead of using his own cronies.
Jana Kasongo amewachilia ile watu yake kutukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Ati Rais Uhuru Kenyatta amefanya makosa, ati kusema Kenya haiendelei vizuri, tukuwe na mabadiliko. Sisi nataka tukuambie Kasongo, wacha kutuma vijana kutukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Kama wewe ni mwanaume kamili, tukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta wewe mwenyewe, alafu tuelewe wewe. Mimi natangaza hakuna mtu atakubaliwa kukosea heshima Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta alikuachia nchi ambayo imesimama. Alikuachia nchi ambaye NHIF ilikuwa inafanya kazi. Umeharibu, umeleta mnyama anaitwa SHA ambaye haifanyi kazi. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta aheshimiwe asiheshimiwe.
In a bid to garner support from Kenyatta, Gachagua has asked him to support his bid for presidency, attacking National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula.
Uko na haki ya katiba kuungana na Rigiji, tutavunja serikali pamoja. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta uko na haki ya kusema vile Kenya inatakiwa kukaa. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta uko na haki ya kunipigia kura. Mimi Rigiji na jeshi yangu tunatosha kulinda Rais Uhuru Kenyatta asitishwe, asibabaishwe. Mimi naibika kuna mtu anaitwa Wetangula ameharibu bunge la kitaifa. Anataka atikusomea Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe Wetangula umefanya bunge kuwa organ ya UDA. Wewe mwenyewe tabia yako ni kama youth winger wa UDA.
This event comes as Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has urged Uhuru Kenyatta to distance himself from the dirty politics of confrontation and division. He has urged him to clarify his differences with President Ruto instead of undermining his performance.
Jambeni tunaelekea, hii Kenya yetu inaelekea mahali mbaya. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, jameni, mimi sijui Rais William Ruto alikula nini yako. Na kama kuna yote ambaye alikula yako, tutashikana kama serikali mzima tuhakikisha kwamba tumerundisha hiyo. Ili ukae pale Ishaweri utulie kama rais ambaye amestaafu. Mimi nataka kusema hivyo kwa sauti na kwa nguvu, junajua matamshi kama hiyo inaweza leta shinda katika taifa letu la Kenya.
That's the News Wire. I'm Lea Ubaga.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
We look at the utterances of leaders who are aligned to broad-based, who are initially in ODM. We thought they stand for something. Now they've been exposed.
Because we are a third world country, we are poor. And not because we don't have resources, but we have been robbed senseless.
Look at the wasteful expenditure. Look at how large government leaves And we've said this is something that can be controlled. It happens in many other countries.
Internally, we used to stand and tell him, boss, hii kitu ni mbaya. And you'd say, now he doesn't, let me tell you, you saw the other parliamentary group meeting, people went there, sat, listened, looked at him, there was no plenary, left.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Spice FM, Nakuru.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
SRC's mandate is constitutional. It's not an advice. It's actually something you must do.
Must do.
Like now, you abandon, of course, the narrative of wheelbarrow, Mutomjengo, Mamamboga, and all those, that rosy narrative.
Your expenditure is 3.3 trillion, and you're collecting only 2.5. Out of that 2.5, you're spending 1.8 trillion to service loans and so forth.
That the CDF kit, it's in itself a symptom of corruption.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself.
Good morning, and I love your show.
Thank you.
Having come from a Kikuyu radio background, I migrated to Spice because of the content.
I was born in a slum, but somehow I got a break in life. So sometimes when you see the sweating coming out because of the passion and whatever it is, behind the noise, there are people. And we share the same umbilical cord.
It shouldn't be like that. I am so disappointed. We used to tell Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga that he's doing politics of conmanship. And even President Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali hii ndio iko na conmanship ya hali ya juu. You cannot promise people that you reduce tax, then you double.
In politics, there is the issue of trust. For you to turn around and then stab the same people who gave you that trust, there is no other level of dishonesty. Imabo, utaona dunia tu.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
A very good morning to you at 8 minutes after 7 o'clock and into the second hour of the Situation Room on this 4th of May. Good morning, everybody, and karibu sana. As we get into our conversations, a reminder that our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X, and our audience on KTN, where you're tuned in to radio across the country, the region, and the world. We're having Kenya's biggest conversation this Monday morning, and we get into one where we're looking into certain things, maybe taking stock of some of the things that have been said over the past, couple of days, weeks, and then the direction in which it is going into the next couple of months. It might give you a little bit of a headache, but if it does, I'm going to ask you this morning that you shouldn't search your symptoms online. What you need to do is that you need to go to a medical facility near you. Find a trusted healthcare provider. The Aga Khan University Hospital has brought specialized world-class care to your neighborhood. Our conveniently located clinics offer specialist clinics, diagnostics, and pharmacy services, ensuring you and your family receive the best. So, see your cardiologist, pediatrician, gynecologist, family physician, your surgeon, dermatologist, diabetologist, gastroenterologist, neurologist, pulmonologist, among other consultants near your home. So, remember, for families on Gong Road and its environs, we got you medical centers at the following locations: Prestige Plaza, Valley Arcade Shopping Center, the Bina Complex in Karen, T-Mall, Gong Town. Visit any Aga Khan University Hospital Medical Center in your hood today, or you can call 0730 011 888. That's 0730 011 888. The Aga Khan University Hospital, world-class care here and now. All right, so remember that. Even some of these things that might give you a headache or may have you feeling a little bit of IBS, don't Google your symptoms. You can actually go and get treated, and it's near you. Sawa sawa. All right, we're getting into this morning and we're talking about Game Plan 2027, pleading for numbers and accountability. Dr. Barrack Muluka is here with us in the studio. A very good morning to you, Dr.
Very good morning to you, to Dennis.
Good morning.
You're well?
Superb, actually. Yes, I keep saying I live in concentric circles, and the innermost circle is sound and well.
Fantastic. At least that's somewhere to start from.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be talking about some of these things 2027. There's a lot being said. There's a lot of conjecture flying around. But let's start off with where Dennis has taken us this week.
Today we are in Eritrea. Gained independence in 1993, fought for over 30 years with the Ethiopians. And it is a one-party state with no formally implemented constitution, at least until since 1997. A population of around 6 million people. And just outside the capital, Asmara, there is what is called a tank graveyard. So after the war, the tanks are there as a reminder of what happened in the country. Coffee is consumed mostly in social spaces. So if you go there, just ask for kahawa tungu, kahawa tamu.
Okay.
The proverb, a good road is used a second time. A good road is used
a second time.
How would you interpret it?
Okay. First of all, localize that saying. Domesticate it.
Yes.
Take it all the way to Emmanuel, where I come from. There's the saying that where the child has found a mushroom, he will keep going back. So where you have found good things, you keep going there. Or let's say you don't change a winning formula. Yeah, when I used to play football, the coach used to say you don't change a winning side. Yeah, so a good road can be traveled a second
time.
Indeed.
The bad one will be avoided at all costs.
Yes.
I like that.
And if you find a bad one, if you discover that you chose the wrong route, you avoid it. If you dial the wrong number, there's no point lying to yourself that the number is fine and insisting, telling the person at the other end of the line that I know this number.
Niwewe.
Wacha kujificha. Yeah, so there you are.
All right.
You can take it to many different spheres and domains.
Yeah.
That's why the good man called Lazarus Chakwera turned out to have been a bad road.
Yeah.
And people elected not to travel on that road
again.
A second time.
Yeah.
Well,
a second time, okay.
You can use Chakwera as an example, or many would say you could use another. But perhaps into this conversation, we'll then be able to find what that other road then might be. Since we use sports analogies quite often, why don't we use another one this morning? That it's really unlikely that a sports team, or even a sport that plays with a sportsman or woman in a singular fashion, will embark upon a match without a plan. That they have studied their opponent, but more than that, they've studied the science of this game that they're about to engage in. That they know that if I do this, I will get this. If I am consistent, I will then be able to achieve a certain result. But more than that, they study their opponent and they know that this is where their strength is, this is what they're likely to do, and this is what I must do then to counter it or defend my position in order to secure a win. Do we see that these kind of things are happening for 2027 when an election is in the offing?
Thank you very much for that analogy. Take it a little further. Number one, you are supposed to know the opponent virtually in everything that you do, because we live in a competitive and competing world. You should know their strengths, you should know their weaknesses, but more fundamentally, you should also know yourself, know also your strengths, acknowledge your weaknesses, and recognize the opportunities that both sides present. So when you look at 2027, my interpretation is that, one, there are two competing sides, so to speak, very broadly, that there is the current dispensation, and then there are those who would presume to want to succeed them, and that they would be eyeing one another. And so let me start with the incumbent, that there is President William Ruto, who is assembling around himself a battalion. He starts with some of those he had, but there are also some he has lost and who have become part of the opposing squad. I would presume that he probably understands them, but they would also understand him. And I think that he is tempted to understand them from the perspective that they may not have access to the kind of state resources and the wherewithal that he has. And so he's engaging them in attrition, financial attrition, one could even say. How do we explain the ongoing early campaigns? He's moving from county to county to the next county and going back to the counties where he was a few weeks ago. I think the objective is to run them out of financial steam, assuming that he has understood them very well and expecting that they will run out of money, not out of ideas as such, but out of money to fund their own going campaigns. Because you see, the president is the state. He has the state, and like Louis XIV famously said, the state is me and I am the state. So he can convert every governance opportunity to a political occasion and use it to self-congratulate himself for both real and imagined achievements. And meanwhile, the opposition is running also all over the place, following him where he has been, trying to rebut and negate and reconstruct what he has said, deconstruct and reconstruct. So in a sense, that is correct. But have they understood the president, if I flip the coin to the other side? If they had, they would understand that he's engaging them in these Fabian, they would call them Fabian tactics, after Fabius Maximus, who was an ancient Greek general. And he used the strategy of wearing out the opponent. Muhammad Ali used the same in boxing, wear out the opponent and then floor him or floor her. Have they understood that? Because here is a president who is perpetually on the rustings, congratulating himself, as we say, for both real and imagined achievements, launching and relaunching the same things that were launched some time back, some by himself, others by governors and so on. I think the political position has most certainly failed to remember some very basic things. One of them is that achievement is measurable. And success is also measurable. And that there would be a template that you are using to measure success. That, for example, if it is an exam, there would be a syllabus. And next to the syllabus would be a marking scheme. And it's expected that the syllabus was covered. And the questions that have been asked, each has got a marking scheme. And the marking scheme has got answers that the examiners, and therefore those who have prepared the marking scheme, will say the candidates are supposed to know the following. The correct answer would read as follows. It would include the following components. And then they would say, give extra marks for this and that. What is the marking scheme or the template in this case? The marking scheme and the template that I expect the political opposition to be using would be a marking scheme that says, wait a minute, President William Ruto is saying he has done this, he's done the other one, and he's done I don't know what. Where are the 47 charters that he signed with the counties. Each county. Walk him through those charters, county qua county, county after county. You are in Kitui on such and such a date. You signed a charter with the people of Kitui. You said you are going to do the following 16 things. Tick them off one box after the other. Move from Kitui, go to Makueni, come to Machakos, come to Nairobi, go to Nakuru, go to Kericho, all the way go to Uasin Gishu, West Pokot, and so on. That way, you start now disrupting President William Ruto, because the president clearly is avoiding being audited, and audits are very, very dangerous things for politicians, because you are now telling them this was your promissory card. If you're talking about jobs are countable, they are measurable. You don't just wake up and you tell us you have created 800,000 jobs, you have created 3 million jobs. Where are the taxes are measurable? Cost of living is measurable. Factories in Kakamega, where we were promised 3, are measurable. You can say where they are. Mumia's sugar factory is measurable. Pan paper mills is measurable. 1,000 kilometers of bitumen roads is measurable. You must say where they are. When you talk about SHA, it is a lived experience. It is measurable. All these things are auditable. And so, have you understood the opponent? No. Finally, I must say something about this headline in today's Standard, Ruto's bogeyman. And the editors say that with Mount Kenya voting bloc seemingly defiant towards President Ruto's efforts, re-election efforts, his point men are pointing fingers at Uhuru Kenyatta, and they're accusing him of funding the opposition. Not necessarily go into the merits or demerits of that, but it would suffice to observe that this lends credence to our thinking that President William Ruto is engaging the opposition in attrition, Fabian tactics, as we have said, and he did not expect that there would be the ability of them getting funds from anywhere to match him. And if it is true, if I'm using the subjunctive, if it is true that President Uhuru Kenyatta is funding the opposition, it is probably because the Kenyatta Empire is possibly one of the very few entities that
can match
could match the president's deep pockets.
You see, Barrack, as we talk about 2027, there's a lot that comes into play. So we talk about a population that one would say is woke. They call themselves that. A population that is asking for that is demanding that things be done a different way, constitutionalism, rule of law, and as well as a youth vote that is out there and demanding certain things. As we talk about 2027, there is all this to think about, because politics will not be played as has been played before, because you're dealing with individuals who, when you talk about SHA, like you've said, they will take you through the numbers and tell you, I'm sorry, but it did not work. We did not experience it. You talk about the roads you talk about. How many kilometers have you constructed? Is it factual? Again, last week numbers do not lie. There is what the president says. The economy has improved. But in the economic survey that has been released by a government body says things are not as the president is telling it. In 2027, politicians, are they looking at a changed or a different voter who's looking at things critically, or it's just an assumption that things remain the same?
I think the voters are very informed, and the voters are very bold, and the voting environment is very different. Sun Tzu, the battlefield tactician from ancient China, famously said, as rule number one of war, that you do not fight the last war. If you fought the last war and you won using certain methods and certain tactics and tricks, do not assume that you are going to fight the next war the same way you fought the last war and expect to win. You are fighting in a different battleground. Even if the space is the same, the moments have changed, the times have changed, the combatants have changed, the ammunition has changed. There are so many things that have changed. If you look at today's press again, you can see one of the papers saying Kangata is saying, I will not vie on a UDA ticket in 2027 polls. And you remember that the president, when he was then a deputy president, was very laudatory of Irungu Kangata. He was talking about how he was a very truthful individual and how he would vote for him. You can see they're saying also in this space here, Ruto admits Mount Kenya headache in 2027 polls, and he hopes that he can go there and preach to them. I don't know whether it's a new gospel or the same old gospel. They say that if you are tenacious, that you could change the other person's mind and get them to do what you desire of them. I doubt very much that that is going to work. And this, again, is for the entire political fraternity, both those in the opposition space and those in government. I do think that the room exists for the wild card, the unknown factor, because there's a sense in which the country continues to be subjected to legacy politics. Legacy politics that makes the political space a very noisy chamber. You could almost equate it to a lunatic asylum, where the lunatics are screaming at one another, screaming invective and screaming unprintable things that even have got to do with people's body parts, the same way we used to do when we were little boys and girls growing up in the estates of this country. And the younger voters, the younger population, which is the majority, is placing before them statistics. The younger people, the millennials and the Gen Zs, are placing before you statistics. They're saying we don't like this finance bill because of the following factors. They are even translating the finance bill into their mother tongues and sharing with those who may not be as sophisticated and saying this is why we don't like these things. So if you are in government, you must respond to those things. Beating them up or shooting them in the legs or disappearing them is not a solution. The more you engage in that, the more you gravitate towards the saying that the Christian fraternity used to say in the early ages of the church, that the blood of martyrs is the seed of martyrdom. So the more you kill, the more you have others sprouting and running against you. The political opposition, on the other hand, as I have said, needs to convince the electorate that it's not another cartel entity in waiting. That it's not saying, when it says that we are the united alternative government, that you are saying we are the united alternative cartel, that they must demonstrate that they are fundamentally going to do something different. Let me just sum that up very quickly. You see, when you listen to the opposition, including the newly emerged one that has broken away from ODM, they are very good with placing their fingers on the problems. They have got their fingers on the pulse of what troubles us. But they need to go a step further to be able to curate that into a statement. What then is the promissory statement? What then is the election question? And within the promissory statement or pronouncement, therefore, again have certain measurable things. And you can loop this back to William Ruto in 2022. He was not satisfied with just saying that he was waging a war against people he characterized as dynasties. He went on to say what he would do, and to say it in a believable manner. He went on to curate, canalize, and package that in documentary evidence or promissory notes that he then took to Makueni, he took to Kilifi, he took to Kwale, he took to Turkana, each one answering local needs. And having done that, he then moved on to certain other demographics, like the youth, and said, I'm signing a charter with the youth.
Women.
I'll do the following things. I'm signing a charter with women. I'm signing a charter with people living with disabilities. As I've said, he needs to be audited on that. But the opposition must come up with theirs.
So then we got to a point where an election then had a theme. And as you said, the last election was one that took on an economic nature, and that it was going to put money, essentially the one who came out, the winner of that election, was going to be the one tasked with putting money back into the pockets of Kenyans. That's what the promise was.
Indeed.
So then I hear you almost advocating for that theme to be re-invited into the political conversation now moving forward. That what is it going to be about? Is it making sure that Kenyans then, is it the rule of law? Is it just social justice? Is it ensuring that certain things are done? But you seem to want it to coalesce around something, a statement that some people can follow. But I want to come back to some of the things that you mentioned. If we were to look at the coast region, for example, somebody made a suggestion last week that each leader ought to stand on the promises that they make and give evidence of those things having been done. And perhaps that is then what Kenyans will coalesce around and say, Barrack said that he was going to build a dam. He did. He said that he was going to make access to education more available to everybody. He did, or he did not. If we look at the coast region, every county, as you say, had a charter. Mombasa, there was going to be the expansion of the blue economy. This is what President William Ruto said, that the port-linked manufacturing and logistics was going to be a reality. That there were going to be affordable housing projects, that there was going to be SME financing through the Hustler Fund, and that there would be market modernization and tourism revival. Well, a lot of those things are in the public arena. Let's go to Kwale. The Dongo Kundu infrastructure integration was going to be a reality. Beach tourism would be expanded. The fishing industry would get support. Water access projects then would also be a reality. And the coconut and cashew industries would be revived, and there would be value addition. In Kilifi, salt and mining industry support again was going to be a reality. There would be irrigation agriculture, there would be tourism infrastructure, the roads would be upgraded, and fisheries development would take place. That's just Kilifi. Tana River, the Garissa Kulalu Irrigation Revival Project was going to happen. Livestock value chains then would be a reality. Drought mitigation projects would come up. I think we've just come out of one of the worst droughts in Kenya's history. Water storage infrastructure would be established. Water infrastructure, we're looking at things like dams and water pans and things like that. Rural road connectivity was going to happen until 80% is the number that was given. Lamu, the LabSet corridor implementation, not idea birthing, implementation. Port logistics jobs were going to be created, fishing infrastructure, tourism investment, security and transport links. And then we'll stop in Taita Taveta, where there was going to be a formalization of the mining sector. Wildlife tourism would be expanded. Taveta irrigation schemes would be established, and road and border trade projects would happen. This is just the coast, the 6 counties of the coast. There are 41 other charters that were done, but this is the gist of those. It's good for us to say these things out loud because they were documented in terms of how they were going to happen. One would say that what you're saying now is you then have no business asking Kenyans to give you another round at the rodeo if these things, and this is not pie in the sky, these are things you said and were documented. If these things you said you were going to do were not done, do you have any business asking Kenyans to give you another shot?
Precisely. That is what I am saying, that that should constitute the conversation. That there are these instruments which the president, the current president, placed before us as a sacrosanct, deliverable, promissory notes, and which were forgotten, or they seem to have been forgotten, as soon as he brought down the Bible. As soon as he started waving the sword of the commander-in-chief, which he says is not meant for cutting vegetables. And we are saying that instead of telling people that they are very fat or very thin, instead of telling people things about gastric activities in their alimentary canal, instead of talking about people who do not go to the gym and stuff of that kind, His Excellency the President should be going back to the town halls where he went with the audit reports and juxtaposing the audit report with the promissory notes. And the political opposition should be interrogating those instead of saying things about whose ears are flying into which direction, and instead of talking about and you know, certain things may be true. I may have ears that sit in a certain way. They do not add value to the citizen's life. I may be the fittest fellow who goes to the fittest gym, or I may be the most wobbly. Those are things that are irrelevant. When you start calling people stupid, brainless, crooks, criminals, first, if you are the president and you know that somebody is a crook or a criminal, you occupy one of the most critical spaces, cause them to have their day in court, cause them to face the law. And the political opposition can also do the same. It is not enough to say things like, we are going to take William Ruto to the ICC because he killed Gen Zs. When are you going to do that? Now is good a time as any take his matters before the International Criminal Court. But back more to the issues that you have just walked us through a catalogue, and you promised us this. You haven't delivered. You have digressed from those promises. You seemed to have a plan, and you even called it the plan. You used the definitive article the plan.
Not a plan.
Not a plan. It was the plan, and it had its 5 pillars. And from those 5 pillars, you are able to extrapolate and give us more other pillars to support the plan. But what are Kenyans saying? Kenyans are saying a president who goes to Emurua Dikir to attend a funeral, sits there for 6-7 hours, which is a very extravagant way of spending our time, because the 7 hours that the president spends there should be multiplied by the 50 million Kenyans to determine how many hours have been lost. And when you are in Emurua Dikir, the local what is he called, senator, says that they want a university in that area. On the spur of the moment, you say that I'm giving you 20 million and I will give you another 100 million next week, and within the next 2 months we will give you $1 billion so that you build a university. You move from there, you go to Ol Kalou, and the same theme comes up, and you tell the people of Ol Kalou, here is 20 million to kickstart the project. Next week, we'd like you to start building the administration block. Now, those are voodoo economics. That is what is called voodoo development. That is what Idi Amin Dada of Uganda used to do when I was a young man growing up in East Africa. That he would say, you are Dennis Aseto, now you are the governor of Central Bank of Uganda.
Go print money.
You go and print money. And these people have asked for a new railway line to link this Nairobi to Machakos. Start that tomorrow. We are coming here to break the ground. That is not development. That is what in biology they would call a spontaneous growth or development. Because you see, we are organized. The human being or any animal is an organized organism, a collection of systems, a circulatory system, the respiratory system, the locomotive system, and whatever other systems, the alimentation system, which seems to be their favorite conversation. Now, if you wake up one morning and there's a new system that has developed, instead of having even your 2 eyes, you have 3 new sets of eyes. That's a spontaneous development. And it's a
Barrack, it would not get lost to communications, or rather the report that Kenyans have been giving the president. You know, you start with the Gen Z, the protests that were there, and they were speaking back to the government and telling them, we do not agree with it. You come to 2025 as well, the demonstrations were there. Extrajudicial killings is something we do not agree with. But let's go even further to a letter that you wrote together with Pierre Lumumba to the president. And with that, you highlighted several things: governance and accountability. And this is what you said: the strength of a democracy is not measured by the eloquence of its leaders, but by the resilience of its institutions. And you asked him to strengthen them. We will talk about national unity, the youth question, integrity in public life. Your Excellency, leadership is not about comfort, it is about courage. The courage to make unpopular but necessary decisions, the courage to admit missteps, the courage to listen. First question, this you speaking, was this letter ever responded to? And with the issues that you raised here, how critical is it for the president to listen to the people he is serving, to give them the report, the status of how they're feeling, the true feeling on ground?
Yes, some of these things that we do, the letters that we write, the articles that we put in the newspapers, the conversations that we have, some of them are in part really documentation for future generations that this was done. I think that the person to advise President William Ruto is not yet born. The person whom President William Ruto can listen to is not yet born. And that is a very huge tragedy, because even the wisest of people and rulers, including King Solomon himself, have always had counsels, and they are counsels of people who will speak to them with candor. They are not people who will tell the leader lies because they know what he wants to hear. And so they end up with the naked king. Irungu Kangata, the governor of Murang'a County, has been praised as a very candid individual. And he has said in a very formal manner that he has got responsibility to the people, and he will not be part of the lies that are being told by the party and the leadership of the party on whose ticket he ran the last time. So when we say some of these things to His Excellency the President, we do hope that he spends a few minutes to even just peruse. Most likely he looks at the whole thing and he says, this is rubbish, tupa Okoh. Who are these fellows? What do they think they are to deign to speak to me and to write to me this kind of letter? Never mind that it is couched in a fairly polite and civil language. You cannot have the president abandoning the seat of power in Nairobi, in State House, in Harambee House, and is permanently cutting across the country on self-congratulatory missions that he calls inspecting development, where there is actually no development, and making new promises, even as he says, we have done this on roads, we have done this on electricity, we have done this with employment, we've done this with hospitals, which we know are not working, we've done this with education, which we know is collapsing. And instead of sitting and planning and listening, getting reports and reading, you are on a campaign mission. We are trying to tell him, Your Excellency, accept that you have made mistakes. Accept, for example, that SHA was a big mistake, that NHIF was working. All you needed to do was to correct any areas that were not functional, that education, university funding was working. You did not need to disrupt it. But obviously there are factors that led to that, and I doubt that they had much to do with the need to serve the people better. We see fellows around with huge stacks of money, and we can only imagine that some of these things, including the digital platforms, are really just siphons.
Of money.
They were put there as siphons, and that's why nobody wants to listen. Affordable housing is a siphon. We are building stadia, Talanta, Hela Stadia. They are turning out to be the most expensive stadia ever built anywhere in the world. And someone needs to accept. Hence, finally, when His Excellency the President starts seeing the numbers are getting depressed, and he goes back to the backyard at home to speak to the community in harsh tones in mother tongue to tell them that you have not registered in numbers that can cushion me, that can make me happy, that can make me comfortable, he ought to know that it's because he doesn't listen. And even that particular constituency that he has taken for granted, that he assumes he can herd like cattle. Because when you go home, if I go to Emmanudia today and start telling the people of Emmanudia to protect me, to save me, appealing to the herd instincts, appealing to the lowest of the sentiments, of the emotions among the people, that they should now come to rescue one of them because we are of the same genetic makeup. I should realize that the reason the Emmanudia people are not registering, are not enthusiastic, is that they are part and parcel of the country that is suffering. And they're suffering with everyone else.
This is it. And even as you say that, I mean, just casting my mind to the person who came up with the adage that a leopard will not change its spots. It will not become a striped cat tomorrow. This is who it is. So if in a period of time you did not achieve certain things and you did not show direction into achieving them, the likelihood of that changing in the near future then is slim to none. But the problem here, whereby these things that may have been promised, or even the things that you mentioned, education, health, infrastructure, all over the place, the reason why they cannot be done, even if you really, really wanted to, is that Kenya owes too much in order for anything to be left for development. That's the truth. There's a reason why Kibaki did not borrow. And there's a reason why people keep touting about the development that was experienced during the Kibaki administration. The truth of the matter is that there is not enough wiggle room to take care of recurrent expenditure and development with what's left after paying debt. Kenya owes too much money to realize a significant index of development at the moment. That's the truth, void of emotion or any kind of romanticism. Is it safe to say that anybody, in or out, that is not addressing the debt problem further to the development infrastructure problem also then has no business dealing with these things? Because you can come and talk about how you want to implement a manifesto, but if you don't have the resources to do so, you will not do it.
Yes, President Bill Clinton, when he campaigned to be president of the United States, first term, reduced the whole campaign question to a simple formula. He would say, it's the economy, stupid. All these things flow into the economy. And when we talk about debt and being overborrowed, remind you that for a period of 3 or so years, I worked very closely with the gentleman who is now the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi. We formed a political party. Sometimes even scholars form political parties. I told you about Chinua Achebe's People's Redemption Party.
Yes.
Yeah, and I flatter myself with the thinking that I walk in the footsteps of those kinds of giants and stand on their shoulders. So we formed a political party. It was called ANC, Amani National Congress. And one of the things that we kept on harping on with the gentleman who is the Prime Cabinet Secretary today was debt. And we kept on saying that the public debt should be published. It should be publicized. We should know whom we owe how much, the sovereign debt. We should know whom we owe how much, when it was borrowed, what interest it has since attracted, how we are paying, when we hope to finish paying, what the money did, and the like. Now, when he is in that space, it has swallowed him. He doesn't talk about these things. I think there must be something about those spaces. You get into them and they swallow you. If you don't want to be swallowed, you run away very quickly and continue articulating the things that you were articulating before. But, and this is a very big but, in the year 2023, Kenyans went through a very painful financial season. It was the beginning of the attrition that we are suffering today. And President William Ruto, together with Musalia Mudavadi, were repeatedly telling Kenyans it's because we are paying debts. And they were saying, after 2 years, we will have no more debts. Just give us 2 years. And after 2 years, we shall have paid all our debts. And everything that we are going to be doing in this country is going to spend our own money. That is another question for audit. Can you tell us that debt, how big it was? Never mind that you may not be the ones who had borrowed. And after that, how much more have you borrowed? And what happened to the promise that you made about 2 years? It's now 4 years.
Yeah. Prof, as we head to 2027 and the plans around that, there is the Mwananchi factor and their plan around that and what they want to achieve. Would you reckon that where we find ourselves today as a country, that Mwananchi knows what they want, they would vote for that, and they would keep the political class accountable to the promises that they give?
There is a bit of a challenge with a certain demographic of the voting Mwananchi. I stated earlier on that there is a cause to have a lot of faith in the new generations, the Gen Zs and the millennials. And one would want to hope that this is not just about them as voters, but them as leaders. That they continue to know what we want, and that unlike the crowds that we see harassing and terrorizing James Orengo when he goes to a funeral, and the ones that we see clobbering Godfrey Osotsi, that the majority of the young people understand that this is their country, and that the older generations, my generation and other generations ahead of us, and the generation immediately behind me, have failed them. We have failed the young people in this country. I saw a clip of a Tanzanian member of parliament asking members of parliament, why are you telling the young people to go out there to create jobs? You are not able to create any job yourself. Wewe umeomba kazi kama mbunge, uwezi wewe mwenyewe kuunda kazi huko nje. You can't create jobs. These young people must know that this country belongs to them, and it belongs to their children and their children's children. And the time is now. We have reached that vantage point where this country is either going to take off next year through a complete turnover in leadership, having new leaders, a new generation, or we are going to go the South America way. This is the point at which we must choose the path, whether we are going to become Venezuela, Colombia, Nicaragua, Guatemala, or we are going to become a modern state. And the young people should know that they can never be too young. When Jomo Kenyatta, Achieng' Oneko, Bidat Kagia, Karumba, and the others were being arrested in October 1952, Tom Mboya was just about 20 years old and already giving the country direction. A lot of 20-year-olds in this country today are in college, in universities, and wherever. And there are others who have come out. They must understand that they can never be too young. If you are 35 and above, you are ready to become the next president of this country. And we should start casting our sights wider and further and outside the beaten path and the beaten docket and saying that these are the 6 people or the 10 people. And we're asking ourselves, so who among these people can we vote for? Come on, the person we need to vote for is perhaps not yet showing within that landscape. They're being reticent and sitting back and imagining that they're still young. You can never be too young.
And on that point, we can end it. Dr. Barrack Muluka, thank you for being here with us this morning. There's some words of advice. Take it. And 8:01, good morning.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga. An audio meeting of its executive committee members, parliamentary group and governors will continue today as the party continues to face internal conflicts. The meeting is part of a drive to strengthen the party's structures and expands its reach at the grassroots level. The meeting is expected to review the strategy, strengthen awareness and address issues raised during recent youth engagement sessions held in several counties. Speaking in Mombasa, National Chairperson Gladys Wanga has stressed the need to strengthen the party, which she says is strong despite the frequent waves following the death of the late Raila Odinga.
Let's put our party first so that we grow it. And when we come out of here, let's come out stronger, more united. Look at us here. Surely, is there a force greater than this one? Are there brains better than these ones? Are there politicians better than these ones in this room? Mukienda hata bunge, kuna debaters sharper than these ones. So we are the best of the best. Let's not beat ourselves. Let's not be discouraged. Of course, we got a setback. We lost our leader.
The meeting in Mombasa also comes amid growing concerns within the party about the direction it has taken, with leaders expected to discuss how to manage emerging issues within. The meeting is also expected to focus on the expected talks with UDA as ODM considers its next political steps. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has called on political leaders to reduce tensions as the county continues implementing firm ongoing measures to address flooding and restore order in the city. Speaking at Westlands, Sakaja said the county is currently intensifying its crackdown on illegal developments on riparian land, with demolition and reclamation works already underway across several areas. He noted that multiple encroached zones are already being reclaimed, with operations currently extending to additional locations, including Kirichwa Kubwa and Kilimani. The governor said the intervention is receiving national backing, pointing to the ongoing removal of part of State House perimeter wall to restore natural water flow as a leading example. Residents of Trans Nzoia County say calm has begun to return to Kitale town and its environs following an operation conducted by a special police force. However, the residents have urged security officers to continue the operation to ensure residents' continued security, especially after 2 people were reported to have been attacked with machete.
To some extent, hii operation ilijaribu sana ku scale down jana hawa pamoja na usumbufu wao, lakini ukweli ni kwamba bado kuna tatizo kwa sababu Friday villageni vijana waliattack dereva wa lori za mchanga, ako referral, anaendelea kupokea matibabu. Na pia Kipsongo kuna mfanyakazi wa Transmart supermarket ambaye pia aliweza kuvamiwa na genge la majambazi hawa na wakaweza kumudhuru sana. Tungeomba serikali waweze ku up their game, wako na all the machinery that is required so that they can eradicate this gang completely from the county of Trans Nzoia, because these boys are totally disturbing the security of this county.
And that's the News Wire. I'm Leah Obaga.
.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Parliament has got powers. Let me break it down. The National Assembly can initiate an impeachment of the president.
This same
and the
National
Senate,
Assembly.
Yes. That's our constitution.
This is just a continuation of the previous administration, which Ruto was part of. President Uhuru himself openly said that we're losing 2 billion daily. Daily. I mean, come on. Are you saying that we don't have a central bank?
If we look at Kenya, both public-private sector, that figure is ranging between 30 to 40%, right?
I think it's clear that the government of Kenya is living beyond its means.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Presidency is fairly interesting in the sense that it will actually take us to a new consciousness.
Swali zile watu hawaulizi na swali muuliza na shangala ni aje, kwani huku kunaendaje?
30 billion shillings annually on travel alone in public service.
A Kenyan can even demonstrate every single day of his life that Ruto must go. That is the only message of his demonstration. That is his right.
That bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of those who are in the right.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
A very good morning to you, and we're coming in to continue Kenya's biggest conversation at 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. May the 4th be with you. I keep saying it. I'll say it all day. But we'll get into it this morning, and we continue our conversations. And we're going to be looking around devolution, around the counties, and what governors' responsibility is when it comes to accountability, public resources, and what you must do in terms of giving an up-to-date account of what you did with them, or at the very least, what your plans are. Yes, we'll be talking about that this morning, and we get into that conversation very shortly with Dr. Duncan Ojwang. But before that, I know what you're doing at this moment. You're feeling a certain type of way. Maybe the long weekend got to you, and maybe you were out too long, feeling a little bit pain in your chest, or you feel like some symptoms are really getting the better of you. Do not, and I repeat, do not search your symptoms. Step away from the big G on your phone. At the moment, what I need you to do is to find a specialist clinic next to you, healthcare provider. Find a trusted healthcare provider near you, and the Aga Khan University Hospital has brought specialized world-class care to your neighborhood. All right? So you don't have to go to Mr. G. You can actually go to this facility, because you'll be able to find what is on offer in terms of specialist clinics, diagnostics, and pharmacy services, ensuring you and your family receive the best. So see your cardiologist, your pediatrician, your gynecologist, your family physician, your surgeon, your diabetologist, herpetologist, your gastroenterologist, your neurologist, or your pulmonologist, among other consultants near your home. Yani, near your home. So, for families on Gong Road is who we're focusing on and saying you can go to any of these in your environs. We got you with medical centers at the following locations: Prestige Plaza, the Valley Arcade Shopping Center, Bina Complex in Karen, T-Mall, Gong Road. In Gong Town. So visit any Akan University Hospital Medical Center in your hood today or call 0730 011 888. That's 0730 011 888. The Aga Khan University Hospital, world-class care here and now. Sawa. Problems sorted, isn't it? All right. Don't figure it out on your own, but you can actually go to a center near you today. Dr. Duncan Odrang is with us this morning. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good morning to our viewers. I'm okay.
Good.
A little cold, but I'm okay.
All right. Yeah, well, you know, if you're near Ngong Road, later on, and you feel like maybe you need to get a checkup, the Aga Khan University Hospital has said, you know what, you can actually come and get that sorted out. Sawa?
I'm sorted.
Okay, fantastic. We're looking into a number of things this morning. Reform, accountability, or political control when we're asking about the locking, or rather when we're asking about locking governors in. But before we do that, Dennis has taken us to a very interesting country.
Yeah, Eritrea. Total population of 6 million people. Gained independence in 1993 from Ethiopia after 30 years of war. And it has no official language. They speak Tigrinya, Arabic, and English, and that mostly is used in the professional spaces. And they have a graveyard that is called a tank graveyard as a personal reminder just outside Asmara, the capital, as a reminder of the war and where they are today. But the proverb that you get from the country: a good road is used a second time. A good road is used a second time. How would you interpret it?
That's a good road is used a second time. We had the Swahili version of Chema Chajiuza Kibaya Chajitembeza. That you do not need to oversell a good idea. It actually markets itself. It attracts and it speaks for itself. And probably a lie requires a lot of patchwork going forward to make sure it does not fall apart. And therefore, that road could be road to life. That road could be road to development. That road could be a road. You know, road is leading us somewhere, is it? To a destination, and it has worked before. Why fix it if it's not broken?
Well said, well interpreted.
Indeed. So a couple of weeks ago, governors and senators were in a bit of a kerfuffle. And the question was, okay, so are you going to come and answer questions by the pick and the pack about how you've spent the country's resources? And it actually became man of war. Because people were dragging each other literally, and the question as to whether you're going to come and tell us how you've used funds, because devolution didn't just break the country up into bite-sized morsels to allow then for governance and, you know, resource allocation, but what it did is it also demanded a process whereby you're given those resources, but then you will come and tell us how you spent them, because the demand of the Constitution is prudence in expenditure. Now, that became a bit of an issue because governors are asking, who are you to ask me, you know, kind of thing. But I mean, led by Kajwang at the Public Accounts Committee and led by Senator Mohammed at the Public Investments Committee, they said, you know what? You will talk to us about how you've done this. Now, when we see that the political side is played in this accountability question, what are we really talking about here? Is it just another game, or are we saying there really is a demand on governors as agents of devolution to ensure that the country's resources, being ring-fenced, are also then used prudently? Which one is it?
They have settled right now, isn't it?
Yes, they have settled, and they've agreed to come back. I don't know why they had to agree, but they did.
But you're right that we saw the drama unfold. In my view, you know, when somebody calls you and you second guess whether I should go or not, okay, I'll come, but don't be annoying. It shows you that probably they don't have much leverage over you. Because if the police summons one person, they will always try to avail themselves. In fact, the question has been, don't come arrest me, call me and I'll come. But here is an issue where somebody is summoned and they're saying, make me. Make me. Catch me if you can, kind of a situation. And then the standing order say, we have a power to summon you. We are at the level of a court. If court gave somebody a date, usually they show up. And so it probably talks of beyond the individual, because we are looking at the institutions and respect for institutions. It probably talk of the weak leverage that the Senate have. And remember the issue of is this dog able to bite? Because you'll not be playing the game that governors did, where now senators said to resort to self-help and arrest them physically in order to bring them before them. So it appears that governors found a loophole or realized that, I don't have to.
Okay.
And somehow we can get away with it. And they did get away with it and until negotiation. And I believe that the firebrand and the toning down will happen because there was concession both sides. So... Senate was in a very hard place. Of course, remember, as a countermeasure, they also said we are not going to pass revenue sharing bill.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because why I led with this is because that's what the Constitution demands. But when you look at the political games that may be played after that, some of these governors won't vie for another term, but they want to come back as senators tomorrow. So, when you now look at the political games that are being played, and in terms of a bill that has been I believe it's in for, I'm not sure what reading it's on right now, but this bill essentially wants to stop governors from vying for other seats and say that futurely, once you're done at the county boss, then thank you, essentially come and go and sit down. But we've seen that a lot of governors at the moment have either expressed their desire to or will probably put themselves up for these positions, whether it is as a member of parliament or as a senator in the very near future. Do you see a game afoot?
Yeah, so there's the constitutional amendment that bill, it's a member's bill in the Senate that tells the governor or try to balance and say, immediately you exit as a governor, you need to take a 5 years break. So it's not permanent ban, but take 5 years break before you come to the Senate if you succeed, because the rationale is that we might need you to answer some issues on how you performed and accountability that is our functions, and therefore when you immediately come to the Senate, when your file comes or when your issue is before us, then you can meddle, and it does not augur well with the issue of separation of power. And so the rationale that they are giving is for accountability. We need you to chill for 5 years as we check on whether there is any issue pending, so that when your issue come, it can come without any undue influence from you as a member of the Senate. So that's the rationale. And they're saying, accountability is important. There could be ongoing investigation that can overlap beyond your term, and therefore stay away for 5 years. Yes.
Terry, we look at even the bill that is being proposed right now by the private member, and it talks about accountability. That means even the law itself recognizes the importance of accountability, and Senate being there and checking the counties and their position under the law. it's clear that governors know they ought to appear even while they are in office, which then asks the question, do governors feel as if the law is a suggestion? Is this a problem with the political class? Because the law is clear. You ought to appear for accountability queries for you to clear your name.
No, the law. Why do we differentiate law from suggestions or good advice? It's because the law can consequence. So I don't think governors are dumb to play with what can harm them. So they have probably tested the veracity of the law and realize that you bite, you bark. Yes, you can scare me, but probably you don't have much teeth. So it's not a matter of, you know, what makes people follow the law. Some people are moral. They will say, I'll do it because it's legal. Some people will do it because I don't want to go to jail, is it? I will have killed you, but because I don't want to go to jail, or I don't have a bail, money for bail, or I don't want to go through court process, I'll let you go this time. That is the law. That's why law compels that we follow it. So then there is a certain weakness then if the law does not compel us, if it is left up to our morality. And of course there were counter-accusation on why we have not come negotiate with us. And but at the end of the day, you know, this part of the problem is was Senate strongly anchored in our constitution. Remember we had an issue of, is it the upper house? Or lower house. We had an issue of the National Assembly is clearly defined and has a lot of serious roles. The Senate, including all money bill goes to the National Assembly. The Senate, and there was an issue of all the bills must come to the Senate on money bill, and they have been in court about their role. So their place is not very clear. But now the complication is this. The Constitution provide the right to vote or to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Especially if you look at Article 38, it says that people have a right to run for an office without Article 38 provide that every adult citizen has the right without unreasonable restriction. Is this unreasonable restriction? Could it be done otherwise? How about the person who was the PS, who is coming to Senate or want to come to Senate? How about the CEO of Kengen, of all these other parastatals? How is it only the governor's cases that run beyond their term? Because at this time he's not a governor, is it? How about the president? That you are supposed to oversight if they come to Senate. So how about the rest of these other people? And remember, for example, the law have made it that public servants resign 6 months to election.
Yes.
You can see and argue whether that is reasonable, so that you don't take advantage of your office. It's banning people for 5 years. Reasonable, because the Constitution is saying without unreasonable restriction. Is that a reasonable restriction? Is there a better way of doing it to protect those people's right? But not just those people, the right of voters. Really, it's the right of voters to vote for whichever idiot they choose to, because that's how democracy works. So you have restricted the right to voter to vote for this person by saying they must take a chill pill for 5 years. You are not asking the CSS to do that.
Right. What maybe to then be able to understand it a little bit more is that what would that, moment in the chiller essentially achieve? So if it is something that you can see, it's tangible, you can understand this is the reason why it's being asked, then perhaps it would make sense why it's not then applicable across board to CSs, to PSs, So what is that thing that, from your understanding, that would be achieved if somebody was out in the cold essentially for some time and then be able to come back later, that would then be not reversible?
The amendment to the Constitution through Article, I think, 256, because it's trying to go through Parliament. And it is a long process, by the way. It will have to go to both houses. It will need 2/3. It will have to take 90 days before it is mentioned from the first reading. So it's probably running out of time if the goal was to do it for 2027 election. It might run out of time or just come barely towards election. Now, the goal is clear that, you know what, we are oversighting you. When you become a senator, you have also crossed to the other side of oversighting. Now, what do we do with your files? Yes. What do we do with your files? You had an issue, you have not explained how you bought this pen for 10 million or whatever, but now you are a senator. So the assumption is that when you are here in this house, you'll be able to influence, and you influence your case. And because of that, we might lose the oversight, and there will be no clear distinction between the hunted and the hunter. But to be honest, doesn't it just look like a weak argument? Because you are making an assumption that I have a case. You are making the assumption that that case cannot be concluded within my term. You are making an assumption that I will come to Senate and I will interfere with that case. Are there less intrusive ways, for example, saying if it's your case, which conflicts of interest are there in organization? And there are probably ways of curing if there is an issue that conflicts you, if it's your case, for example. Maybe is there committees that we might say you should not be a member if you came from devolution or governor, than to say totally you cannot run. And then remember, there are other agencies and independent agencies that investigate. So it's not just the Senate. We know there is ESCC. We know there is DCI. So what do I do? I don't have a case. Remember, if they said if you have a case, then don't run. It will make sense. This case is probably not known by this time. They're just saying something might come up. And because something might come up, stay away for 5 years. How does my staying away going to interfere with the and remember, I have a right to be, it's investigation.
Right.
It's not conviction.
But can you presume such a thing? I mean, because it seems like as though this is then set on presumption that it's possible that something could creep up from your however many terms that you were serving at the county. Right. So let's keep you out in the cold in case something comes up. It doesn't sound to me like you can use something as solid as constitutionalism to then guess whether there will be a case that comes up in the future on that level that you don't know about. On that level, it seems a bit unfair to then be able to cast a blanket condemnation on everybody. Because as we can see, as evidenced by the pick and the pack, that there are some counties who actually come forward and there is not a stain on the county boss. They have come, they have given their documentation, everything is given the green light, they go ahead. Never mentioned in an absorption report by the Control of Budget. Never mentioned for queries of audit from the Auditor General's office. So then why would you put a blanket condemnation on everybody and say then you don't have an opportunity to run, knowing full well that the Constitution allows you, after having been done with your terms as governor, for example, to run? Had it not been the case, a lot of these folks would not be putting their hat into the ring. So it seems a bit foolhardy to say, well, let's say that you can't in case we might find something against you so that you'll be out of office. Can we work on presumption like that?
And they have included both houses? So the National Assembly and the Senate.
And the Senate,
and
yes.
the County Assembly.
Yes.
In case you want to go low, you can't go lower than it, higher than it. But you can be probably a CS or something. I don't know whether you can be nominated. Probably not.
It's not also clear on whether you can run for presidency.
Presidency is not implicated. But you are talking of the cost benefit of that bill.
Yes.
That what are we giving and what are we gaining by having that bill?
Sounds to me like there are a number of other things that you can focus your attention on that the country needs at the moment, not
No, because it is almost double assumption that I will have a case. We have not seen much of former governors coming before the committees. We usually see current account. And probably, I don't know what Kenyans feel, but Kenyans have also have not seen much fruits of this coming. I come from Homa Bay. Senator Kajwang is the chair of PAC. Awiti was my governor. And you just need to say Awiti was my governor.
And Dennis is already laughing.
Wanga is now the governor. As my senator, have I seen the value of this oversight? That now you want to do remotely after 5 years after they leave office. Now you can't do it when they are in office, we have not seen much value in it. And remember, you are important. But you can do impeachment, you can do other issues, and you can also find a way of sequestering or curing if somebody come and there's a case about them. But we have not seen many of that. But even more concern, as you are hinting it, we have seen constitution being amended to deal with political issues or somebody. And that's the history of Kenya. Before the 2010 constitution, we had 33 amendments to deal with Jaramogi, to deal with you miss parliament for this many times, you go home and the government can arrest you, to give president more powers, to abrogate the house. We have seen amendment so the constitution, the challenge with amendment in the constitution is that Africa usually starts with very good constitution. Even Uganda started with a very good constitution. Then amendment for term limit. Then amendment for this. So amendment becomes suspicious, especially to make sure they're not self-serving. So in this case, for example, you know the case, the attempted amendment of the Constitution, and there have been several attempts to amend our Constitution, starting from BBI, that I was involved in, but court said there is no basic structure beside Article 255. We were arguing that there can be unconstitutional amendment. For example, if I amend the Constitution to say, from today henceforth, this Constitution is not constitutional, then I have killed the Constitution. So there are amendments that we were arguing that go so deep that they are really not amendment, but they push aside the Constitution. The Supreme Court said, you cannot tell us that there is unconstitutional amendment. The path to amendment is in the Constitution. Once it is followed, it's okay. But we have seen constitutional amendment that have exposed the Constitution, have been self-serving, have made the Constitution more vulnerable. And so that is the discussion, because we know our history as Kenya, that sometimes Constitution is done to weaken transparency, independent oversight, to circumvent a political situation, and to self-serving. So that is the question. When you look at a lot of people online, they are wondering, is this such a situation where, yes, mmekozana? And look at the history of governors' relationship with the Senate. At the beginning, somehow people felt that Senate was more powerful than governors. And so our inaugural heavyweights went for Senate. Then they realized, wait a minute, I'll rather be the one doing and being asked to being oversighted than just saying I'm oversighting and I don't have this big budget. Then when the time changed, we now saw the heavyweight going for governor. The likes of Ngilu, the likes of Kiraitu, because before they were in the Senate. And they thought this is the glamour, because I think in the U.S. Senate is such a big deal. So then they said there were amendments to say, in my oversight, I need to be part of making decision in the county. There was such an amendment where the senators wanted to say that the budget and whatever in the county, because that's where resources are. And resources follow function, follow the money. So this annoying governor that is refusing to come to you, has all the money, is on the ground, and threatening maybe even to kick you out of your Senate seat.
And you see, Dr. we look at, even when you talk about audit queries as we speak, there are bodies already within the Constitution that would deal with that. And the first line of action is the county assemblies. That means in every, the 5 terms of a governor, every budget year, there is room for county assemblies to audit the governor as time goes. We do not have to wait until after 5 years for us to say there is a query with the governor, the reason why they need to stay out for 5 years. We also have the control of budget, the Auditor General, and also Senate itself, EACC, everybody to ensure that all these audit queries are dealt with within the term of the governor in office, which will then determine whether they are fit to run for office, because we already have issues on their name or issues that they have to respond to. So as we speak about even the amendment you're talking about, perhaps what we need to look at is how we will make the county assemblies and all the other bodies have more teeth to bite than just being the barking dogs.
And I saw in the Senate retreat, they said, and rightly so, Senator Sigei said the county assembly needs some capacity building, because the reality on the ground is that governors are too strong, and people are not seeing much of their oversight, because money is powerful. And so, but are the senators overreacting? That's the question. Of course, we have not seen senators vote. Public have not given. It's a member of, I think Kirinyaga senator was one of the senators, bill. Are they setting a clear rule? But be as it may, is it fair to say, you know what, you have been run for governor. Don't make this a career. Of course, the Constitution will say every Kenyan have a right to run for every office. Is it also fair to say, you know, once you have been a governor, please give us a break? We know you have a lot of influence on the ground. You are His Excellency there. Do not come to the Senate.
Is it? Is it fair? Is it fair or constitutional to say to a governor, you've sat in, I don't know, take your pick, Nairobi for 10
Very
years.
powerful.
Okay. You sat there for 10 years. So we're saying, and according to the Constitution, you can't sit for more than 2 terms. Is it fair, constitutional, maybe you should use constitutional as opposed to fair, that you then say, actually, no, we can go back to fair, that you then say, well, you've been here for 10 years, give us a break. Let somebody else come and be senator or be member of parliament or whatever. Is it?
You know what is fair is not necessarily legal.
True.
The standard of constitutional legality is very low. So it might even be fair, but is it legal that we can do that? We might feel that you have done the county, take a break, give others opportunity. For example, there's a time that court agreed with the Constitutional Commission when the people to be nominated included the president and the deputy president in party list. Court said that's unconstitutional. This is an affirmative seat. But senator is not an affirmative seat or is not meant for marginalized. So whether it is fair or not, can it pass the constitutional master test that you want to encumbrance to that extent, somebody's right to run and people's right to vote. To that extent, yet you can also go for any seat. How about if you came from Senate, you made the rules, now you are going to be governor?
Yeah.
Can we also argue the same?
But can you separate people's personal preferences from what they do at a legal parliamentary level? Because these are human beings. We can't say that we're going to remove humanity from individuals as they're making these decisions. Because more often than not, a selfish, and not necessarily a bad thing, but a self-seeking behavior then will influence the decisions that you make just based on what you said, Dr. That somebody who sits and say, well, okay, let's come up with this bill because I feel that somebody else needs an opportunity, or we're tired of looking at your face for the last 10 years. It all comes into play because of somebody's personal preference, which now may mushroom with other people's preferences. It doesn't fall out of the sky. It's human beings with feelings who are coming up with these things. So how can you separate that then from somebody's feelings or emotions? They are the ones who are coming up with these things to say it's not fair. Give somebody else a chance. Yeah.
And or give us a chance.
So at that point, it's not... and the reason why they're looking for it to become legal is so that you have something to hold over someone and say you must. Because right now, you can.
And
but
you
we
are all
saying,
condemned.
Absolutely.
Wholesale without any proof. You know, the Constitution talk of equality of citizens.
Yes.
Are you now making others less equal in a way? Talk of non-discrimination and all those values. We have seen situations like, for example, if somebody was in IBC, the law say you cannot run immediately after. So there are situations that we have seen limitation of rights. You know, the Constitution also told the president you cannot be the promoter of an amendment. So there are offices that maybe once you have held or something you have done, but when you are serving, not after you have left the office. You see, this is when they have left the office. In fact, what they could have done is to say, probably resign 6 months before if you want to run for Senate, just like the public servants. Resign 6 months before. Then we can now prioritize to see whether you have issues. Of course, that will be pinching the governor a little bit, but so that you don't just transition from this seat, leave this one hot, and move to the other. I think, you know, and you are very good citizen and conscientious citizen. Look beyond the law. That we have looked at the interest. But what really are they saying? Is it a political hygiene that I go to Homa Bay and because I'm a governor, I have a lot of privilege and benefits. Then I become the governor. When I leave, I cause somebody to take that governorship. I go to the Senate. Are we forming some little cabal? I think beyond the law, that is a fair discussion.
Extending a continuum, essentially.
And it's possible, isn't it? So you leave that governor, or you switch with your senator. You say, Mr. Senator,
you take senator, I take a governor.
We have done very well. You have winked at some of my sins. I've also empowered you. Come. And is it also possible that this senator has an ambition of coming to the county? And probably they're not part of your team because you have not done very well, or they have done their job so well in oversighting you that you are going to block them. You're not going to support them in their bid for governor, and then you are going to replace them. And therefore, they are going to find themselves, because the assumption is this. If you go to Kenya, senator seats are the least contested. In fact, you are easily becoming a member of parliament. It's harder to become a member of parliament than senator. Kenyans have figured this thing that there is no CDF there. So every time I'm in Homa Bay, that's a seat people don't even campaign much. It's even women reps sometimes is hotly contested than the Senate, unfortunately. Now, In the process then, is there the governor seat is where every eye is. And once you have become a governor, you are a player here. You can organize your team. Is it political hygiene to leave this governor and then take the Senate and leave your person? So, but legally, what can we do?
Yes. Because, you know, how I'm looking at it is, if we're talking about accountability as being the reason why we would bar other people from running from office, then it would start all the way from, because now we're talking about ward fund, if MCAs do have that. They have accountability issues as well to respond to how they spent this money. We have members of parliament and the CDF as well. How did you spend this money if you want to run for the position of governor? If you are governor, there are budgets that were given to you, right? Accountability questions. So if you look at it, even when you're a member of parliament and you want to run for office, we will also as well ask you to stay out for 5 years before you run for office of president, because there are accountability queries that you need to respond to. Where then I still go back to my previous observation that to deal with accountability issues as we speak today, there are bodies that ought to do that. That if we want to address issues to do with corruption, it is in ensuring that EACC, ODPP, the entire justice system does their job when they are required, because we have budget cycles. We can come to you and ask you how you spent this money within the 12 months or within the 6 months. And if we have a problem with that, we see no reason of you
including being arrested.
Office, including being arrested.
Senate so nini that if you go to Senate, we cannot touch you now.
We cannot touch you. You know, so I think we have solutions already in the Constitution. What remains is implementation of that Constitution to ensure that accountability queries are answered in time.
But you see, this also will increase polarization between Senate and governors. Remember, there is somebody in between here. There is the voter. There is the Wanjiku. There is the sovereignty belongs to the people. There is the consent of the people. So this governor is becoming a senator through the consent of the people. And really, even if you look at the US, much of, do you know you cannot vote if you are a felon, if you are a felon, but you can run. Yeah. So the standard of voting is higher than running. Their argument is this: when you pull me out from running, you are undermining the people's power to choose. They are the sovereign. You put me there with my stealing self and all that. The voters should do the vetting. They are the sovereign.
They should have a high moral standard, essentially, is what we're saying.
I don't want a thief.
Okay.
So it's not a job interview. There is voters that are going to determine the candidature of this governor. Isn't that a good measure? And fortunately, those voters are the very people that probably this governor stole from. Of course, we can say people are weak, people might be bought, but still, what are we saying technically? This is democratic space. There are voters. This governor is not going to come to Senate flying on a broom. They are voted, isn't it? So do we take the right of voters to vote for the person they want, because this person might have a case? Not only that, and that case will come after they are done. And not only that, they might interfere with that case. They have not interfered. And not only that, that they will be in the Senate somewhere where they'll be so powerful that there is nothing, there will be no discussion about it. When you look at it, then the argument and the urgency for the bill become less attractive, because then where do we stop? Tomorrow, and that's what happened. We had self-serving bills throughout. That's what's destroyed. Our independent constitution was very beautiful, by the way. But before we know it, they removed the Senate. You know, that was through amendment. The Senate was removed. The things were changed. We moved from devolution. We had devolution at independent. It was removed. Kadu and all that was removed. We had multi-party. It was then moved to single party, KANU. So amendments can be very dangerous because it involves less people. It is less emotional. And so when people don't watch, people can sneak in things that can actually undermine the entire constitutional system and governance and skew it, because tomorrow something can happen if every county also come with a got you kind of bill.
You see, Dr. You've said something that is very critical, that at the end of it all, there is Mwananchi's right to vote. There is also the candidate's right to be voted for. That at this particular point then, focus or rather conversations with Mwananchi should be, who exactly are you voting into office? Because if you had a governor who stole from you and you voted them to be a senator, then the problem perhaps is not that individual. It is the voter who refuses to look at their responsibility in voting in individuals who would stick to the law. That despite the fact that there is an amendment here, let's look at the bigger picture. If we enable Mwananchi, if Mwananchi takes the responsibility and votes in the right people, then we don't need to mutilate the constitution further.
Yeah, and so you are disempowering the voters, isn't it? And why governors? Because that was the question. A CS is very powerful. A CS now can move and be senator. Will they not also have the same accountability issues that might rise from the blues? How about CEOs of these parastatals? How about the president? What about the deputy president? And all this, about PSS? Yeah? They will be. They are controlling a very big budget, probably even bigger than the governors. So the timing also might be suspect, because we are not visitors in Jerusalem. We know the context that happened, that there was bad blood. But to be honest, can you blame senators of being annoyed about governors? Because if you talk to most people, they are not very happy with the devolution. But they are. But it's very entrenched in the constitution, and so maybe the end will justify the means if they can cheap it and annoy them a little bit. Not legally. I'm not talking of its legality, but maybe its morality. Will you be sad if a governor is hurt a little bit?
So, I mean, and that's the thing, that you always ought to look for the smoking gun here, because what could be underfoot that would bring such a thing about if we already established that it is the voter who then must be held to a higher standard in terms of who is selected, and not necessarily the minority of the folks who are being selected in the first place. It's the majority who make the decision about the people who are going to come in and govern over people and resources, that then this attention ought to be paid to. But for some reason, we are looking at these few individuals who are chosen, and it's shenanigans of some. And that's why I go back to that point, that it was somebody feeling a certain type of way who has then said, well,
I got something.
I have something for you, and I'm in the position where I can legislate and raise a bill. And in this case, an amendment bill to say that, okay, thank you. You then, after 2 terms, you will sit out in the cold for 5 years. Now, if it had everything to do with the Constitution, then perhaps one would say, okay, this makes sense. But it does sound as though, as we come to this, that it's possible that somebody has a personal vendetta, that they're then using constitutionalism to fight.
So you think it might be an elitist fight?
No, I think that it's just 2 folks, and it's possible that it could be extrapolated to the rest of the people who have a thing to put to each other. I think that it's very possible that somebody got ticked off at somebody else, or somebody wants to show somebody else something and has taken it to the floor. It's not the first time it's happened. It's probably not going to be the last time, because it's ammunition that you have in the chamber to then be able to stick it to somebody else. Unfortunately, absolutely.
But you see, constitution is sometimes an elite consensus. So if they go through the process, let me ask you, if they go through the process, they get 2/3. It's a long process in the Senate. Then it has to go to National Assembly. Then they go through first reading, 90 days, second reading, third reading, and they get the 2/3. It has passed. And then it goes to the president to sign because it does not require referendum. It's one of those issues that is not listed under Article 255 or that require referendum. Somebody might make some argument, but I don't see. So it can get away without referendum. So if it has gone through the legal process, it has ticked all the right boxes, it has been passed, then do you think court should have another chance of just saying, I don't like this bill?
No, but what I'm saying is this, that I think that these mediums are used in the direction where it may sound like I'm being facetious, but are unnecessary. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we saw bills that demanded of the legislature and those who spend money to insist that what you tell people, for example, in a manifesto, that you must rally your soldiers to ensure that the money is allocated for those things and that it is actually done. When is the last time that we saw somebody standing up on the floor of the House sponsoring a bill that ensured that the money you put towards a budget for, I don't know, education is seen to the last coin? When did somebody stand up on the floor and say, I propose a bill today that says 70 billion shillings over the last 5 years did not actually go to schools? I insist that until and unless we find where that 70 billion shillings went to, not another coin will be spent on something else. Why don't we see bills like this? But this one we see that, somebody pissed somebody off somewhere. And so now let us put a bill that says this person can no longer be in a position of leadership for 5 years. My issue here is that there's misdirected energy away from the things that will actually make a difference in the country.
But let me play the devil's advocate. We have what is called the holy anger. So not all anger are bad. Not that every time institutions fight, sometimes they want to inch benefit sometime. So their fight is not necessarily bad for the people.
No, but it doesn't help anybody anyway.
No, if I'm mad at you, then I'll make sure you don't steal. At least from the beginning. I'm mad at you. I cannot drink your tea. I'm checking you very hard to see where you have taken the money. Then who benefits through that? So is this anger? Can this anger by itself, maybe anger against corruption, maybe anger against the failure of devolution?
Oh, come on, Dr. Ojwan. That is rarely the fight.
Isn't that a good anger?
It's a good anger, but if that was the case, it would be great. But it just doesn't exist.
But that's a theological question. You cannot you cannot be so sure.
How many times do people, look at this, it's very clear that somebody is obviously trying to stop another somebody from being in the political sphere for a while. It is not all governors.
Not all political sphere.
It is not.
They can run for...
not all governors. But there's a reason...
They can run for president.
But there's a reason why they're saying, oh, come on. There's a reason why they're saying, this person who was governor, we don't want them to run for Senate. Why didn't you say
for
this?
Senate and National Assembly?
Yes.
You know, I didn't understand also National
Exactly.
County Assembly.
So why didn't they say this person
who has to run for office
anywhere?
Any office.
Because they are
trying to occupy any public office.
Exactly.
Because they're trying to balance, according to the bill, isn't it? They're trying to balance. The Constitution is saying rights can be limited, but you must look for the least restrictive way of limiting it. It must be for good intention. And so the question then we have raised it here is this the least restrictive way of balancing those rights, assuming that it is fair to say when you are here and we are looking at your case, we might look at your case, not that we are looking, we might look at your case. It will not augur well. But is this the least restrictive way
of doing it?
Could there be other ways, including amending your standing order and saying, if somebody comes from the county, you cannot chair a park, no thank you. You cannot be in these committees because your issue might rise here. So there could be least restrictive way. But somebody must use the tools they have. So if legislation is the tool I have, they are saying if you have an hammer, everything will be a nail. So if I have legislation, then I will. And at the end of the day, how do I get the fear of God in these governors who have refused to come and answer important question on how they have used
Sure. So maybe this is the hammer that was going to nail the thing and say, perhaps then you guys need to come and answer questions about how you spend resources. That there's always this was a means to an end, and perhaps the end has been achieved. This is why we talk, for us to then be able to look deeper into some of these things and to understand what exactly is going on. It'll be interesting to see how far this goes, but necessary.
Public participation will come,
of course,
and there will be other processes, including governors will give their opinion, and you can bet that it will end up in court. Maybe not so much the method, but whether the substance. Because can I come with a bill to say from today I've suspended rights? Because can any amendment be constitutional? Not necessarily. Finally, laws are not made in parliament. Laws are made with the people. So laws must come from the people. We have this notion that laws come from Senate or National Assembly. Laws come from the people. Laws is the spirit of the people. So is this bill
the spirit of the people
or from somebody?
Good question. Dr. Duncan Odrang, thank you for being with us this morning. That's a question at the end of it, isn't it? Is this from the people? Good morning, 9 a.m.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Leah Ubaga. A multi-agency security team has seized suspected narcotics and arrested a lorry driver at a roadblock in Moyale. The intelligence-led operation was carried out by officers from the National Police Service at the Order roadblock. The team flagged down a Mitsubishi FH lorry that was ferrying goods presented as food supplies. Upon conducting a search, officers uncovered a concealed white sack hidden beneath the produce containing approximately 11 kilograms of suspected cannabis. The suspect is in custody and is expected to be arraigned in court today as investigations continue. Bloggers in Busia County have been warned against the misuse of social media before, during, and after the upcoming general elections, accusing them of contributing to ethnic divisions. Deputy Commissioner for Nambale, Okoh Wende, says bloggers have been accustomed to publishing hateful statements to discredit some politicians after being sponsored to do so.
Na wale vijana wetu bloggers, nyinyi ndio mnajua wanasiasa vile wanakaa. Huyu ana bibi yake alimwacha juzi. Hiyo inakuhusu nini? Ule hana bwana, ule sijui alilala wapi jana. Hiyo inakuhusu nini? Hiyo pia iko kwa qualification ya watu kuchaguliwa. Chungana na maneno ile unaandika kwa social media. And cyberbullying is punishable by law. Kwa hivyo kijana yako akishikwa usikuje kutulilia. Kazi yao ni kutukana wanasiasa. Unafikiria ukitukana hao si hao pia wako na watu wao?
Young people seeking employment abroad have been urged to verify job offers before traveling to avoid falling victim to scams. Former environmental principal secretary, that is Charles Sunkuli, says many youth have ended up involved in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine after being misled about the nature of their jobs. Speaking in Kilgore, Sunkuli also called on the Department of Immigration and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to strengthen measures to ensure the safety of Kenyans living and working abroad.
Of them being encouraged by the government through the policy of financial inclusion. And
That's the Newswire. I'm Leah Ubaga.
.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Every time he kept on saying he wants a vibrant opposition.
How does it make sense that public money has been used already and then they dare to sell it back to you? Why are they not giving them for free?
That's how broken we are. That's how broken we are.
They're being sent home now for fees. They're going to fail to prepare. We are compromising the futures of these children.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
I am also a publicly elected official. Okay. My salary is paid by your taxes.
Yes.
So if you need me to answer questions, we will not run away from you.
Asante,
we will always be here.
The government itself is engaging in corrupt practices. That the government itself deliberately schemes to influence through bribery members of parliament.
You pay for a passport online. Alafu you're told there are no booklets.
I rebuke matters corruption because corruption has brought this country to its knees.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
In this country, 6 families and 8,000 Kenyans control 90% of the GDP. We are not a country. We are a plantation. We work for Ruto.
When you're telling the judges court orders are papers or they will not obey court orders, they're sitting and you're seeking orders from them. So how are they supposed to interpret it? Isn't it an oxymoron?
When you see a judiciary that seems to be under some control somewhere, you start questioning. We have very powerful governors, but they don't use their offices to serve the people.
If you are not shameful to do what you are doing, why should we protect you?
I'm human. Everybody's human. So when you're told, kuja tuongee, I mean, you'd be a fool to say, stagi kuongea today. Conversations have to be had, you know?
People in leadership should only go into leadership if they are ready and willing to change the lot of the people.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation. The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
SRC's mandate is constitutional. It's not an advice. It's actually something you must do.
Must do.
Like now, you abandon, of course, the narrative of wheelbarrow, Mutomjengo, Mamamboga, and all those, that rosy narrative.
Your expenditure is 3.3 trillion, and you're collecting only 2.5. Out of that 2.5, you're spending 1.8 trillion to service loans and so forth.
That the CDF kit, it's in itself a symptom of corruption.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
I am also a publicly elected official. Okay. My salary is paid by your taxes.
Yes.
So if you need me to answer questions, we will not run away from you.
Asante,
we will always be here.
The government itself is engaging in corrupt practices. That the government itself deliberately schemes to influence through bribery members of parliament.
You pay for a passport online. Alafu you're told there are no booklets.
I rebuke matters corruption because corruption has brought this country to its knees.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
You have land, Dennis. Yeah. Okay, your own land. You use your own money to build it, and then you sell it to yourself.
But we don't want foreign troops on Kenyan soil.
But surely it goes a little bit deeper. This is it.
If you find the tree is withering, then you call the person who is managing that tree. Come around. Why? Tell me what is
first of all, what's the problem?
Yes, what is the problem there?
How do we expect ourselves to move forward as a country?
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Imagine that when people are having a conversation, you think that it could be just because they're trying to make the country better, but then you also have to ask the question, what exactly is going on the sidelines or in the back end? It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. This is the Situation Room. And this morning, it's Dear Mr. President, but we're taking a line through towards healthcare. And people are saying something, dear Mr. President. This is aside from politics. The politicians and those that you surround yourself with will tell you a certain thing. They will spin a particular yarn to then be able to let you know that things are working. Those on the other side of the divide might tell you that things are not working just to kind of rile up emotions. Yeah. But you know who's going to tell you the truth? The people who walk into the doors of medical facilities and are turned away on a public holiday because their children cannot get healthcare. You know what they're told? They're told that, well, we don't work today, so maybe you need to find another facility. On going to another facility, a woman with her son is told, well, you know what? Unless you're paying cash, that card is no good here, or that status is no good here because we have not been paid. Facility after facility after facility, she's told this until she has to tell a friend who's told another friend to put it out in the public that she is unable to access healthcare. Meanwhile, she's all paid up. That's the reality.
Please repeat that statement again. She's all
paid up. So the people who are telling you the truth are the people who have to walk to the facilities. Dear Mr. President, the people who are telling you the truth is a man who talked to us in February, and he's a cancer patient. And he was in remission for a while, and then, unfortunately, his cancer came back. When he went back to hospital to then be able to access, he made sure that he was paid up until November. We're talking about November 2026, because he paid for a year. He went back to hospital in January and they told him, well, there's a problem here and we're not able to offer you the care that you need. For whatever reason, it was not attended to. So you know what he does, dear Mr. President? He goes to see his doctor. He lies about his symptoms so that he can get the least care that would then be prescribed for the least shillings that he has to spend. He doesn't tell the truth about how he's feeling. He doesn't tell the truth about what his real symptoms are. He doesn't tell the truth about the real state of his health. So that whatever medical care he will be given, he will just spend the money that he has on him that day so that, you know, he doesn't kick the bucket and that he just remains alive in order to make it happen. These are the stories. These are the people who will tell you the truth. Dear Mr. President, you surround yourself with people all the time who either will tell you one thing to remain on the good side of politics or will tell you another thing to kind of stick the finger in your eye. I repeat, the people who will tell you the truth are the people who have to walk through those doors. Teachers, there are about 400,000 in this country. They're responsible for teaching our children in schools. They've basically said to you that until you reinstitute the system that allowed them to go to a medical facility without having to pay out of their pocket again, they will not go back to teach. This is the real situation about healthcare in the country. Dear Mr. President, things are not looking too good. And your people want to talk to you this morning and tell you that 1, 2, 3 have to be in order. I had a browse through the charters of each county. And 32 out of 47 charters mention healthcare. 32 out of 47 charters mention healthcare. Apart from that, there was an entire health charter. There were health professionals who came and sat and they came up with what the healthcare system in the country was going to look like. And it is upon that that you established SHA. The people who want to use it for political gain, I want you to ignore them for a minute. dear Mr. President. Listen to the people who are walking through the doors of medical facilities every hour in this country and are being turned back. The people who still have to go to their families to ask for money and their friends so that they can be treated. The people who are in Busia, 16 women who have children and are not released because of bills. These are the people who are talking to you this morning, dear Mr. President. They want to talk to you again.
You know, most of the time when you talk about what is to do with healthcare, at times it's good to just personalize it, and I'm going to do that. You remember when December, January, I had a problem with my eye, right? I went to the hospital. I tried using SHA. Guess what? It did not work for me.
You.
I couldn't decide. I'm going to be honest here. You know, I was forced to use a private insurance card, right? And even after that, every other month after that, I've had to buy medication for my eye. That is aside from the fact that as we speak right now, Mama went through a surgery. Did not work for me at that point. Mama has gone for 2 surgeries. Did not work for me. Every other checkup that is, she's going to hospital. She's not using SHA. We have to go deeper into our pockets. That is my personal story and many other Kenyans out there. So when we are told that SHA is working, that SHA is delivering, for who? Because for me, it did not. And not just me, for my parent, it did not. For the woman who's giving birth outside the hospital because they are unable to access that, it did not work for them, Mr. President. And you see, I was also just thinking about it the other day, and I don't understand how a cabinet secretary for health would come sell me the idea. The president will sell me the idea, the promise that SHA is working, yet themselves are not using that facility. It can't be that we as Wananchi pay up for this insurance cover for all the 55 million Kenyans, but we have a cabal of individuals who are here selling us the promise over something that they are not using themselves. Mr. President, it can be. If you're selling me the promise of SHA, you have to be signee 001 on SHA as the person who uses that cover. Cabinet Secretary Duale, I'm going to call you out. You can't sell SHA for me that it's working, yet you are using a private insurance. No. You have to consume that which you're selling and giving a promise that it's working. It is only through that that we will see this thing happen. Magufuli did it in Tanzania. What did he say? Every other public servant, whether you are a cabinet secretary, whoever you are, the hospital that you are selling to Wananchi is where you will go. And through that, hospitals started working and functioning because their lives were on the line. Can be that all of us we are put into this basket to go access this healthcare, that them themselves who are selling the promise can't stand behind that facility and use it. Can't be.
Can't be that you're selling something that you're not going to then be able to use. What is your situation this morning? Let's not sell propaganda. Let's talk about the real situation, and we'll do that with you today. Dear Mr. President, the state of healthcare, it doesn't look too good at the moment. 0732 142 653, 0732 142 650. Talk to us this morning. What is the case? Not what you've heard, what you've experienced, what you've seen. You've been asked to put money aside by many groups. You've been asked, even if it is your 1 shilling, 5 shillings or 50, somebody's asked you to put some money aside because it's just not enough for people who are paid up. What's it going to take to fix this thing once and for all? And I'm asking a question. When folks were on NHIF, and guys, let's not be political here. Let's have a real conversation. When folks were on NHIF, did you experience this kind of uncomfortability with the system? Let's be honest. And if you did, say you did. And we also understand that when something changes, you're going to hit a few bumps along the road. We get that as well. But there have been a number of bumps since October, when SHA was October the year before, when SHA was instituted. What are we looking at here? So let's talk this morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
I'm calling from Kericho.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Mr. Duncan.
Yes, Duncan. Please tell us, what is your experience with SHA working for you? Is everything okay?
I think it's a monster.
It's a monster?
Yeah.
How so?
When you go to hospital,
Mm-hmm.
you are being told that the SHA is not working with this part, and you have to pay half of it.
Duncan, you went to hospital and you were told that you had to pay a particular percent?
Exactly.
Okay.
Scanning like X-rays and other scanning are not working.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive medication.
So, Duncan, when you say that it's not working, essentially what you're saying is that for like scans and X-rays, you have to pay out of your pocket.
Exactly.
So that's what you mean by it's not working. So if you use your SHA status, for example, they tell you, no, for a scan, this X-ray, you have to pay. Medication, SHA can take care of, but this other thing, no.
Yeah, exactly. No. Even you have to be inpatient so that they can pay partially.
You have to be an inpatient in order for it. So outpatient for SHA is you have to pay cash.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay. Duncan, you're calling from Kericho, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing this morning. So just to get a closure to that, by the time you went to hospital and came out, for you to get what you needed to do, you had to pay cash.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you paid up fully for SHA?
Yes, I did for 1 year.
Paid up 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay, Duncan. Thank you for sharing. It's important to contribute to this conversation. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Let's take a number of your calls this morning. Just a reminder, the number is 0732 142 653, 0732 142 650. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from, sir.
My name is Eric.
Yes, Eric.
From Nakuru.
From Nakuru. Talk to us.
Yes.
Tell us, what's your experience with SHA? Is everything okay? Eric? All right, let's take somebody else this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Okoh.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm very fine. This is Karaja from Naivasha.
Yes, Karaja from Naivasha. How have you been, sir?
I have been so fine.
Uh-huh.
I had been following you since I had not been here for a very long time.
A very long time. Are you okay?
Yes, I normally listen to SpiceFM. It's my favorite station.
Kabisa, brother. Asante sana. Talk to us, Karaja. How are things going with SHA?
I think SHA, to me, SHA is another phenomenon that need to be checked. Because I myself, each and every month, I deduct my pay slip is being deducted 850. 850. 850.
Okay.
Yes, salary. According to my salary, I deducted 850. But SHA does not do anything. For people without patients, if you go to hospital, you have to dig your pocket. Including maybe you have some homers, maybe you have some kind of ailment. You don't pay anything. They say unless you go and you have an inpatient, that's why they can even give you, but not a lot of money. Something so simple. Yes. Yes. I think SHA is a scam because to me it's a scam because if I compare SHA with the NHIF, with NHIF, if you are outpatient, inpatient, it was doing very well.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. So with NHIF, what you're saying here, inpatient, outpatient, you got treated. If you were paid up, you had everything, it was not a problem.
Yes, it was not a problem. If you go, but even if you go, you have the malaria, you have nothing, you have your dialysis, everything, you are paid with NHIF. But now with the SHA, this is I think it's a problem. It's a grave national issue that it needs to be discussed. It's not discussed. People are going, watu wanaumia sana kwa sababu hii kitu haifanyi.
Nimesikia. Well, Karanja, Asante Sana, thank you for calling in and sharing with us this morning. And of course, thank you for keeping on listening. But then to get your insights is very, very important. Asante.
Thank you very much, Okoh.
All right, Asante. All right, we'll hear from more of you this morning. It just seems like already we're going into it quite some. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Rafiq. I'm calling from Transoya,
from
a place called Magoro.
It's called Magoro?
Amagoro, yes.
Amagoro, all right.
It is in Transoya.
On Transoya, okay. Tell us, Mohammed, how are things this morning?
I'm watching your program since a long time, and you have the topic today is of SHA. I'm also a patient of diabetes and heart problem.
Okay.
I've been attending SHA, and I've paid fully for 1 year.
You've been attending?
Since last year, I did not have any problem. But this year, in February, suddenly they started saying that, okay, your account is okay. They check you, they refer you to the doctors, the doctor gives you the prescription. And when you go to the pharmacy, they are saying, "Sir, it's mommy, Madawa, you have to buy cash."
Oh.
How can I buy cash when I don't have money for cash and I have already paid for 1 year? We don't understand what is this happening. Is it the SHA problem? Is it the hospital problem? Or is it the system's problem?
Mohammed, just to be clear here, you're paid up for SHA. Yeah. It was all right for you last year. So when you say it was all right last year, could you actually go to clinic and then for your diabetes medication, you could actually get the medication without paying? I mean, without paying extra. So this year from February, when you've gone for clinic, they've basically told you that for your medication, you had to pony up some cash. You wouldn't then be able to, okay. And so in order, of course, for you to get your medication, you have been paying cash.
Yes.
All right.
And why is it happening like that? They say something else, and on the ground is something else.
I hear you.
Better I was a member of NHIF for so many years. We did not have any problem like that. Please.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to solve this problem.
But the thing is that for us to say it out loud that it is actually not, and if you know that the process that we're talking about right now is, dear Mr. President, that people can use politics and talk about it's working, it's not working, and throw back at each other. But the people who will tell the truth is Mohammed in Transoya, who says to us this morning, I go for my diabetes medication and I am told that SHA will not cover the payment for my medication. That's the truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why it's important for you to call and contribute to this conversation.
Okay.
Mohammed, thank you. We keep talking about it. Let's see how we move the needle. Okay. Thank you. This is it, Dennis. So it's Tall who goes to the hospital to try and get SHA to sort out his eye. And that doesn't happen. It's Mohammed, it's Eric, it's Duncan, and there are more.
And you see, at that point when I went to hospital, I had a private insurance, but I was like, I also pay for SHA. I gave it out. And guess what the hospital said? We do not accept SHA here. You know why? Because we've not been paid. So if you don't have any other way, you have to use cash or use another insurance.
Ouch. Okay, let's hear if this is the story from others. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir? Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I am Augustine Okoh.
Yes, Augustine.
Calling from Homa Bay.
From Homa Bay. All right. Talk to us, sir.
Yes. Now, I'm very happy to hear about the discussion, and I have the following to say.
Yes.
I'm sure the government knows that SHA is not working. For example, if you look at the payment itself, people are supposed to pay for about 3 months ahead, 6 months, or 1 year ahead. And this thing was meant for the poor. How are the poor going to get that amount instead of paying monthly as it was with the SHA, with the NHIF?
With NHIF, yeah.
But two, all the investigations like X-ray, or if you go for eyes, clinic, and the rest, you pay cash instead of SHA taking care of it.
Okay.
And more so, when you go to a referral hospital, which may be just next to your house, the SHA does not take care of that.
Okay.
So according to me, I see that that's a sham.
Okay.
And yeah.
I hear what you're saying, Augustine. Thank you for that, because that then opens our eyes to certain realities this morning. Augustine, thank you so much for calling in this morning. And you see, this is why it's important to talk, D. You know why?
Yeah.
Because when we say SHA is not working, that doesn't mean that SHA doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What we are saying is that in the way in which it has been designed, you told people that they would walk into a medical facility based on the fact that their status has been maintained by the contributions they make, and they would not have to pay an extra coin from their pocket.
True.
The opposite is happening. So if 1 + 1 = 2, then SHA is not working. Thank you very much, Augustine. Let's hear from some others this morning. Asante Sana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The number is 0732142650 or 0732142653. Talk to us this morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, could you please turn down the volume on your radio so we can get you clear?
Okay, there you are.
Please tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Nakuru.
Nakuru, all right. What's going on?
You mentioned something about the design of SHA that was supposed to work and somehow seems not to be working. And that is my point of figuring things out.
Okay.
Today, you walk to hospitals, and then not even hospitals, just in our backyard or relatives, people are struggling with a lot of pain, and I don't have to wait until I'm in pain for me actually to put an idea of how things should be.
Sure.
And my message would better be going actually to the implementer, the executors of the whole program. This thing can be fixed only if these people become sincere. One, if they were just to think salvaging their name, they must have buggled it out, but they can salvage their name by just doing only one thing. We are not supposed to be having only one service provider.
Okay.
The government is supposed to make up a model where it's supposed to be putting certain funds, and these funds are supposed to be on competitive basis. 1, 2, 5, 10 service providers.
Right.
It doesn't have, it might be regional, it can be scaled down actually to the level of hospitals, can be blah. Those operators, after they do the bidding, the government is supposed to be paying premiums directly to those actual service providers. And now we are going to have people, if at all you certain location, certain facility, automatically, this you're talking about paying about 500, 1,000, premiums 1,000. Your core payment actually for that particular year is going actually to be going to the government, but you are going to be guaranteed. Now, why are you supposed to be having many providers? It brings competitiveness. In these service providers actually providing actually options for the people. It is also going to rule out actually so that people can get a fair value for money. That you're going to realize that if I'm not competitive enough, I'm not going to get the contract actually with the government. And then that allocation, the funding, the cabinet itself should figure it out. What is it that we need to mobilize?
Sure.
And which are those people we are supposed to target, for sure. We are not supposed to be saying everybody is supposed to be on SHA.
Okay.
People in a certain level of income, they are supposed to be enjoying facilities in the free market with alternative, and they are not supposed to be supported at all. The government cannot support everybody actually with this SHA business. We are only supposed to be having a certain population. Is it supposed to be about 30%, 20%? What Kenya is trying has never worked anywhere in this world. And that's when I know, I've been around the world, even though it started, doesn't have it. So let's not try to do things that cannot work. That's my take. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that this morning. Of course, hearing from other people as well, but those insights are definitely some to be carried along. Asante Sana. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Victor Mika.
Yes, Victor.
I'm from Homa Bay.
Calling from Homa Bay. All right. Tell us, what's your experience? Is everything all right?
About Besa, to me, I can say it clearly that it's not working.
Okay, why?
Because I myself, I went to Homa Bay Referral Hospital for a CT scan. Then when I went there, first they told me that when I was checking the child, it was for a CT scan for the child.
For a child, yes.
Yeah, and when I was trying to check my own card, and that is my own child, and when I'm trying to check the child, and they were trying to tell me that the name of the child is not in the card.
Okay.
So I didn't understand why the name is not in the card.
And you registered it?
I registered the child in the card.
Okay.
It was my card.
Okay.
So later they told me that I should give them some time to check up. But when they checked it, they came up again telling me that the SHA is not covering the CT scan. So I'm trying to ask myself, which are the things that can cover the SHA and how it is going to help the Mwananchi.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So perhaps they need to come out and say, this is what we are going to cover, this is how we are going to cover it, instead of telling us that everything is going to work and then you get there and it's not working.
Yeah.
Because when these leaders, the president himself is coming out on the ground and telling people that the SHA is going to cover for everything, SHA is very inefficient for any treatment, anything. So when we go to a hospital, like Homa Bay is the city hospital, the county hospital, the big hospital in Homa Bay County.
Yeah.
But if it can't work in Homa Bay level 4 hospital, where can it work in Homa Bay County?
That's the question. If it can't work at the level 4 hospital, which is the biggest, then where is it actually working? That's a good question.
Where can it work? Can it work in these health centers around here? So I don't know. To me, it's something like not working.
Victor, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm curious, how did you eventually get the scan for your child? Did you have to pay cash?
Finally, I paid cash and I used 8,500 for the scan.
And how much is your cover in 1 year that you paid for?
My cover for 1 year is something like 570.
570 per month?
Per month.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much, Victor, for contributing to this conversation. We'll take a look at what some of you are saying on socials this morning, but I want to take a couple more calls before we do that. Just hearing the voices of the people. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Habari asubuhi mtangazaji.
Mzuri sana, salama, habari asubuhi.
Sababu mzuri. Mimi naitwa Charles Muhula kutoka Siaya.
Kutoka Siaya, nilikuwa naomba tafadhali upunguze sauti ya redio tafadhali.
Sasa nipunguze sauti ya redio.
Asante.
Nimeshapunguza sauti ya redio.
Okay.
Swali niko nayo. Swali niko nayo ni rahisi sana. Unapata kwamba ule mtu anayolipa monthly payment ambao kama mimi ni 500. Ukienda hospitalini unaambiwa kwamba unaambiwa kitengo fulani huwezi huwezi kafanya kazi, lazima hulipie kutoka kwa mfuko yako. Na tena ukienda hospitalini unaambiwa kwamba ulipe either halfly au ulipe yearly ndio baadaye utibiwe. Sasa swali langu ni hapa. Ule mtu ambaye amelipa nusu mwaka na mwaka mmoja mzima hawezi katibiwa na njia ambayo inatakikana. Lakini ule mtu pia ambaye analipa halfway pia unapata kwamba hatibiwi. So hii SHA inatibu mtu wa aina gani?
Inatibu nani? Ndio swali. Okay.
Inatibu nani? Kwa sababu ule mtu ambaye ukienda hospitalini unaambiwa kwamba haujalipa, unaambiwa ulipe nusu au ulipe 1 year. Ukishalipa 1 year unaambiwa for medication unatakana ufanye nini? Ulipe. SHA inakulipia hapa mpaka pale. Lakini ukirudi upande mwingine kama lese kama upande wa kansa. Upande wa kansa unaweza ambiwa kwamba unalipiwa kutoka mahali fulani mpaka mahali fulani, lakini SHA unaambiwa kwamba inalipa everything, lakini ukienda kwa ground vitu ni tofauti. Mbona hiyo inafanyika hivyo? Asante Charles kutoka Siaya.
Asante sana Charles kutoka Siaya. One more call and looks like they're coming in heavy. Coming in. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Salama, habari asubuhi. Tafadhali utuambie jina lako na mali unapigia kutoka wapi?
Na pia punguza sauti ya redio kidogo tu.
Na ongeza yako. Hello.
Napiga simu kutoka Arusha, Tanzania.
Kutoka Arusha, unaitwa nani sasa?
Naitwa Victor Bomera.
Victor.
Ndio.
Hebu tuambie.
Nimeona mjadala unaendelea KTL kuhusu SHA. Sasa mimi kwa kweli sasa mimi ninachojiuliza. Mimi nilikuja kumpeleka mamangu hospitali. Nikampeleka Migori Hospital. Lakini cha kushangaza nilikuwa nimelipa hiyo SHA kwa mwaka mzima. Lakini haifanyi kazi. Sasa mimi nikashindwa hii SHA inatibu nani na inaacha nani?
Na wewe unafanya kazi Arusha?
Ndio.
Okay. Lakini ulikuwa umelipia mama mwaka mzima?
Nilikuwa nimelipia mama kwa mwaka mzima.
Okay.
Ndio.
So wakati ulimleta hospitali walikuambia aje? Walisema ulipe cash ndio atibiwe ama ilikuwa aje?
Nilikuwa nimesha kata hiyo SHA. Lakini wakaniambia system muifanye mpaka lazima nilipe cash. Ikabidi tena nilipe cash ndio mama atibiwe.
Okay. Hoi, alright. Asante sana kutuambia leo asubuhi. Asante. So it can't be.
You can't fake it.
That's everybody.
You can't fake it.
Okay, and this is a spectrum from across. Okay.
That call came from Tanzania.
For somebody who works in Tanzania, has come to Migori to treat his mother and is being told the same thing. I want to take a quick look at what's being said on socials in terms of who is saying what. Where many more calls coming in. We'll take those in just a sec, guys. Hang on.
Yeah, so Mesha Kotieno says, I went to Msabaha Healthcare in Kilifi County. The answer is SHA only pays for consultation fees, which is 2,000. So they will deduct 2,000 from your account for consultation, the medicine you buy. And we have Oni Katavi who says, this is the biggest scam. I show up at the hospital with a broken ankle, but I had to wait until I could get enough money for the x-ray and getting the cast. It only covered consultation fees. And we have Smoky MC Band who says SHA is set up to pay for a few and deprive many. There are these town halls being held about value for money in a room of about 100 people. Here less than 10 people whose SHA covered it all. And we have Mariam Shuki who says if people know how SHA is important, they could have it mapema, and they say they are paramedic. And Eric Award says SHA was started to make money for the rich. It was never meant to benefit the regular Monanchi. It's working perfectly well for those that benefit it. And it's a lot to do.
I know. It's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, it's not positive.
This is where we are.
It's not positive.
The calls keep coming in this morning, dear Mr. President. I told you at the beginning of this that you'll have folks who will be on your side and will trumpet the choir and say it's working, or those on the other hand who want to stick a finger in your eye and say it's not working. But these are the real stories, dear Mr. President. These are the people that you need to listen to. They're calling on 0732-142650, 0732-142653. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
My name is Gona.
Yes, Gona.
I'm calling from Kilifi County.
From Kilifi. Okay, please tell us, what's your experience?
What we are supposed to tell you and what we want to know exactly about SHA. We have been in NHIF and they were telling us when you come here, this amount will be catered for, the rest you will have to pay, depending on the type of disease you have. And mostly when you are admitted. That is what NHIF used to tell us. And we were comfortable with that.
Okay.
When we were transferred to SHA, things happened differently. We are told when you are paid for SHA, you go to the hospital, you will be cured, and you don't have to pay anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so when the doctors ask money from you, you can even take them to police.
Sure, this is true. This was said.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what is not happening in the ground, we go to the hospitals. When we go to the hospitals, we are cured. We are given the bills. We are told SHA will pay this and this you pay cash. You see now the difference.
Very different from what you were told. Okay.
From what we are told. So what we would like the government to tell us, you pay contributions for SHA, but when you go to the hospital, this amount of money will be deducted from your account. The rest you will have to pay. People will understand that. But if you are told you go, you will be cured, don't pay anything, now the problem comes.
I hear you. Well,
yeah, that is where the problem.
That's the problem, and that's the truth that you're facing. Gona in Kilifi, thank you for calling in this morning and sharing that experience. You're not alone on this. There are others who said the same thing, but that you've been able to confirm that. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Let's hear from some others this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, this is Eric again. Eh?
Yes, Eric.
So,
hello.
Hello.
Yes, Eric. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying with the NHIF, it used to pay for bed, especially when you have.
Hello.
It used to pay for bed alone.
Yes.
Yeah. NHIF.
Yes.
But now the other day, my nephew was involved in an accident. Akafunjika mguu.
Okay.
So bill ikakuja around 190,000.
Okay.
SHA ikalipa around 143.
143.
Yes, and we paid the other like 50,000. So to me, I think that is fair.
Okay.
NHIF, as for the outpatient, you cannot walk into a referral facility with a flu.
Yes, which you shouldn't actually.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
When you walk into a referral facility with a flu, you'll be charged. But when you walk into a level 2, 3, it's free.
Actually, you know what should happen? Exactly. Yeah. When you go to a referral hospital with the flu, they shouldn't tell you that we can treat you and charge you. They should actually tell you to go back to your level 3, 2, or 1. They shouldn't actually agree to treat you. And this is why we are saying that the system then is flawed. Because the person who is accepting the treatment and demanding payment of you is actually doing so falsely. They should actually tell you, please go to your level 2, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the county. Or go to your level 3, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's what they should do.
That is what should be happening. That's what should happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
So, to me, we have the negative and the positive sides of this SHA program.
I hear you. Thank you for highlighting that. It is very important as well. So for people to know, thank you very much, Eric. We'll take some other calls, but thanks to for calling back. I mean, I'm just listening to what he's saying, Dennis.
Yeah.
People who are, and this is actually interesting, because people might walk to a level 4, level 5, level 6 hospital and say, Niko Dahoba.
Yeah.
And then they treat them. They treat them and charge them.
Yeah.
They should actually not treat you.
It should refer you back.
They should say, go to your level 2, and this is the list of level 2s in this area. Go here. Then you will not be charged. But by the very fact that they charge you to treat you for a flu is a problem as well.
And you see, this is where the problem as well is. Because you see, think of it this way. I live next to this level 5 or level 6.
Yeah.
It's the hospital that is closest to me. It is nearest to me. So when I'm sick, by default, I will run there, you know. But there is also the packaging of SHA that was sold to Wananchi. You know what I mean? So it is, people were not told where to go first. People do not understand where they need to start from.
This is it.
So all this information needs to be packaged so that by default, when Nikona Hoba, I know exactly where I'm going to, even if I'm closer to this level 6 or level 5. And for those doctors who are asking for money to treat someone who needs to go to a level 2 or level 3,
shame on you.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Because where is that money going to?
Where is it going to exactly? And if you're not supposed to actually receive it in that facility, so why are you asking for that money at that facility?
Yes.
I keep saying that the budget for communication is especially from government or actually any organization is usually in the least. For people to understand how this thing actually should work, save yourself the drama of people coming to tell you that the thing doesn't work. Why should people be going to a level, why should somebody go to a level 6 hospital to get stitches? Why should somebody go to a level 6 hospital to get malaria treatment or a test?
Now, guess what, Ndu?
No.
You'd also be surprised that the individuals who have gone to level 2, level 3 to get treated, but have not been treated because they do not have facilities to sort them out. So by default, what do? I went there before. I will go to level 6, where I know I will be attended to. So when you talk about SHA working, it is the entire ecosystem.
It is, absolutely.
Including communication.
Auntie Dr. Mercy Mwangangi.
Please.
Let me tell you something. Invest something in communication. It can be the ABCs of working with SHA. They've even given you that one for free. I won't charge you. Tell people how this thing works. Because a lot of the mistakes that are being made, and people come to tell you that your system is fallible, is because they do not know, and your people are not telling them. There are too many calls coming in. Let's take some more of those. But take my advice, please. Dennis has said something profound. Come on. The communication that you're not giving people is actually adding to this problem. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you? Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm good. My name is David Mutisia. Niko hapa Imara Daima.
Hapa Imara Daima. Okay. Talk to us.
Yeah. Mimi nataka kuongea kuhusu mambo ya SHA. Wiki mbili nilivunjika mguu. Nikaenda hospitali. Nilipofika hospitali, jambo la kwanza waliangalia system zao, wakasema ita expire yangu wa mwezi wa 8.
Mwezi wa 8, that's last month.
Mwezi wa 8.
Last year.
Oh no, it will expire August
this year. It will expire August this year, not that it expired. Okay.
Yeah. It will expire.
Okay.
So wakaniambia mpaka nilipe tena mpaka next year. Nika top up nikalipa mpaka next year.
Wait. Sorry.
So you have to cover the
wakarudi wakaniambia tena niongeze 30,000 ambao sio za SHA, ni za hospitali.
Ndio wafanye nini?
Ndio sasa wanichukue, waniweke kwa kitanda, wanipime, wanifunge mguu ama wapasue. After all nilipa 30,000, nika top up SHA na 7,920, ndio nikachukuliwa nikaanza matibabu.
So in short, you paid 37,920 for you to get assistance, yet ulikuwa umelipia.
Yeah, na hizo ni za pande hiyo. X-ray nikalipa cash. MRI nikalipa cash.
Okay.
Pesa za kufungwa mguu zile pambed nikalipa cash 5,820.
Hospitali, ulikuwa hospitali gani?
Inaitwa Jumuiya Hospital.
Okay. And you
private here.
Okay, so help me to understand. They said, okay, your cover is ending in August. Ilikuwa inaisha.
Still active.
It's still active. Active cover inaisha August.
Active,
walisema top up. Ulitop up na pesa ngapi?
Nilitop up na 7,920.
7,920. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sasa hiyo ilikuwa active now, sasa times 2.
Paka next year.
So it's until next year. Ilikuwa when? This was when now?
It was on date 18 this month. Maana mimi najilipia, sifanyi kazi, nafanya jua kali.
April 18th. Now you have another, so you have 2 covers running concurrently, and so there's one until August, there's another one until April. Okay. Wacha hiyo, walisema sasa pesa ya hospitali ulipe 30,000, ndio nini ifanyike? Ndio uchukuliwe
Sasa SHA wakasema SHA kuna kiasi ile watashiriki. Na kuna ile ninafaa nilipe kwa hospitali, maana they don't cover all the need the amount.
Okay.
Ndio nikalipa 30,000.
Okay. Alafu ukalipa MRI tena.
Nikarudi nikatumwa kwa picture. Nikarudi nikatumwa kwa MRI.
Na saa yote mguu ilikuwa wapi?
Mguu iko kwa kitanda na sukumo na wale walinipeleka hospitali.
Okay.
Nikarudi nikaambiwa nilipie picha ya kupigwa moyo. Malama anataka kuhakikisha sina shida lingine lolote. Nikarudi nikalipa pesa za kufungwa pumped ya mguu niendelee kwa angalao wakingojea kunipeleka kwa upasuaji.
Okay.
So that day on 18 total amount nikija kutoka hospitali ilikuwa 81,000 na pesa juu kidogo, angalau nikiangalia kwa kitabu ndio naweza jua. Ndio nikatibiwa, nikalala kuanzia tarehe 18, nimetoka last Sunday but one.
Okay.
David, I am so sorry.
So sorry. How are you doing now?
How are you doing?
Ninatulia kwa nyumba, tena nilianguka kwa nyumba za serikali affordable house. Hapo ndio nilianguka kwa gate. Niko kwa nyumba tu.
So you had an accident at work.
Kutoka kwa nyumba.
Affordable housing.
Not at work. I will normally stay there.
Yeah. Or you stay there.
So kwa gate nikitoka kuna checkplate waliweka pale Barasa staircase. So nilipokanyanga nikatereza kwa hiyo checkplate. Mabati hii inakuanga kwa gari. Ndio hapo nilianguka nikavunjika mguu.
I'm so sorry, David. I'm sorry that you have to go through this. Okay. Thank you for giving your experience.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. And we pray for the ultimate healing for you, and so that you can actually get back to work. Asante for calling in this morning and sharing that with us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm so angry, man.
Beatrice is in Mombasa. Hello, Beatrice. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. How are you, sister?
Fine. I'm calling you from Mombasa.
Talk to us, Beatrice.
Now, my son has issue of bipolar.
Okay.
And now had to take him to Fortress Hospital. That's a county government hospital.
Fortress, yes.
Yes. And then when I was there, I was told my son's SHA is not active.
Okay.
They cannot admit him. I have to pay the whole year.
Okay.
So I paid the whole year.
Which was how much?
For him, I think he's not working.
Yes.
And when we went to register, it gave us 660 shillings
per month. Okay.
So that I was told to pay the whole year.
Okay, which comes to about 70-something hundred.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once I paid, he was admitted, and then he was discharged. Now there is monthly injection which he's supposed to go and get.
Okay.
Because he's not very good in medication, so the doctor prefer that awe anadungwa shindano kila mwezi.
Right.
So when I take him for monthly, now I'm told SHA cannot cover. I have to pay for injection, which is 2,500 on injection.
But you paid the 79.20 for the whole year.
Yes.
So, Beatrice, let me ask: when you got there, for you to access medication for your son, you had to pay the full amount so that you're able to access this medication, right?
An admission, because that time because we normally get violence, so we admit him. And now after hospital discharge, now there is that follow-up every month.
Okay.
So the follow-up is what you're being asked to now pay.
Yeah, I have to pay 2,500 for injection every month, and the medication, the tablet, always there is no tablets in the hospital, no injection in the hospital. I have to buy the nearest chemist in the hospital. Naambiwa niende nje nikanunue hizo tablets, lakini shindano naambiwa nilipe cash. Where iko shindano. But we don't know why am I told to pay cash. And then akiandikiwa dawa, niende nearest chemist hapo nje ninunulie kijana dawa. So I'm asking, what is the China inatumika wapi? And if I paid a whole year, kwa nini haiwezi cover my son? And this is the somebody to live register. This is a jobless. He used to work, but now he's a jobless. And now, why am I buying the medicine? Why am I paying the injection every month?
Beatrice?
Like, if it's best environment, I have to pay 5,000 for the 2 injections. 5,000 cash. Hiyo lazima nilipe. So ikanifanya hata mimi nikajiuliza, why do I need to pay this?
For sure.
Because like 2 months ago I was admitted. Okay, I have a cover. I have an insurance cover. Then when I was discharged, because I went to theater, my bill came around 500,000. But when I went to pay to check, wale wakaniambia, wewe, you don't have a SHA. Because maybe I stopped paying SHA because I wanted to see what will happen to this SHA. Then I asked, how much is the SHA paying? They calculated and say only 13,000. Out of 500,000, they will only pay 13,000. So I say, then I don't need to pay the SHA. So I can pay the 13,000. Mimi ninakulipia kikanda. Yani wewe unakaa hospitali for 1 week, bili yako inatoka 500,000. Alafu unaambiwa SHA itakulipia 13,000 peke yake. So huyo na wewe ukiangalia mimi sasa nilipouliza watu wa SHA, wananiambia mimi SHA I must pay 9,000 per month. So the government need to tell us how is this SHA working? And they tell us category. Kwa sababu unasikia kuna VIP SHA. Ati people working in the government, people working in the government wako na VIP. If me I'm paying 9,000 per month, am I supposed not to be a VIP patient also?
Indeed. These are questions.
Category. Waseme wewe ukilipa 500 wewe utalipiwa.
Tutakufanyia hivi na hivi.
Moja tutakufanyia kitu na hivi. Wewe ukilipa 5,000 utalipa. Hivyo category.
Hear you. Beatrice, I'm sorry, and we've had to say these words every day, almost every call. I'm sorry you had to go through this, and they continue to have to go through this. But one of the steps towards getting this is to speak out about them. So thank you for sharing with us this morning. We really do appreciate that. And we keep talking, and let's keep plugging in, my sister.
There are also many who've talked to us on the socials. Asanteni sana. The poll was up. Is SHA cover working for you? 86% saying no, 14% saying yes. Guys,
why we have to have these conversations is that you cannot continue, number one, to suffer in silence, and if we're looking for solutions, they cannot be in silence. We continue to talk. You cannot be silent on some of these things. Dear Mr. President, it's the people who have to go through those walls who are telling you the situation. Our hope is that you can actually hear what they're saying. Good morning. It's 10 a.m.
Yep.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the News Wire. I'm Leah Ubaga. President William Ruto has presided over the swearing in of High Court